In the hollow where the shadows fall, we gather round, we hear the call. Liquid fire from the mountain's hand burns like truth, but it tastes like sand. Oh, it sure feels right at the end of the day. Drink it up, let the story stay. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. So thick it hums and sings, a slow dance wrapped in unseen strings, clear as glass, but it bites like a snake, sharp and cold, every breath we take. Oh, the stars know our sins tonight. That burn till the world spins right. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. Deep, can you tell?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, how are we?
Good morning, everybody.
Hello, beautiful Brandy. I do like your screen name. I didn't have to.
Thank you.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. Welcome into the house. Who have we got? Mistress, yeah? You're still in trouble. I've got to deal with you. That $20. Who else have we got in here? Hello, Mr. Udhef. How you doing? No, all good, love. All good. I owed you an apology, an explanation and an apology probably, and whatever. So now you know. Who else have we got? Hello, good morning, T-Paw72. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. How are we all? Did we have a good weekend? Anyone get excited and drink too much alcohol or something? And I need to live expediently through someone else.
You would think, as sick as I was last night, that would have been a problem, but no.
You poor bugger. You poor bugger. Have you heard from Ty? I meant to actually ask you because I haven't.
I talked to her last night and yesterday a little bit. I think she's kind of taking a break too, kind of,
stepping back.
Yeah, we've all kind of had a lot of, a lot of news and information and stuff come through, so it's kind of been rough.
Fair enough. As long as she's okay, that's fine. All right, so I was going through some of the old documents back from last year, in Mickey's case, and I went through and I found quite a lot of information that I'd completely forgotten about. Back in February last year, they had done his defence team had done a brief support of the motion to dismiss, and that actually has never been addressed. It's not been ruled. There's no rulings been made against it, because his attorneys, what's his name, Baxter.
Bartley. Right.
Bartley, Jeremy Bartley, yes. He stated in it, where is it? That there was a lot of misinformation given to the grand jury, and he'd argued about it. They'd asked for medical records of Mickey's and information to do with the alleged, emotional breakdown, and that never got presented at all. And multiple witnesses there said, like Detective Clayton Stamper, the lead investigator, like, not only could he not remember the names of the witnesses that were actually interviewed, really? What kind of a lead investigator are you? This is on the stand, but then he became a psychiatrist as well and diagnosed Mickey with being of sane mind. Yeah, that's his job. So there was a whole heap of stuff. So I thought we would take a bit of time and just go through that just to refresh our memory. And I wanted to touch on, go on.
He also retired shortly after that testimony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did Edison Banks die in that time frame too? I think, did he?
It was around that area, around that time. He had been sick for a while. Yeah,
He'd what?
He had been sick for a while and had been not in the office a lot. I think he was kind of doing a lot, maybe from home. But yeah, he passed in that area right in that time frame. But he had been sick for a while.
Was that before or after the judge allegedly got shot?
I want to say it was after. It was like December. I mean, it was very shortly after.
Yeah. So we're going to go through a few things, and then I wanted to hit on some red flags almost in why it could be a possibility that Judge Mullins was going to turn snitch. Snitches get stitches in ditches.
You're learning the vernacular.
Yeah. When this has been 2 years nearly since this happened. 2.
Yeah.
Like September 24. Where is this? We're entitled to a speedy trial. Like, no one's pushing for that. We haven't even agreed that the judge can stay yet. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It just sounds, to me, it's getting drawn out, and I want to know why. Nothing's being done.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, but there's a reason for it. Like, you would want, as the defendant, the right to a speedy trial. And what are they stalling for? That's my question. So it all links back. I'm going to try and link it all back into Ben and make it a nice little package, because you need to know there's a lot of the same names that keep coming up, and it's important to know the connections of the same names in the story as it goes, because it's not just an isolated event, and it's not just an isolated place. It is like a global pandemic there. Like, the entire community is like the powers that be have insulated themselves so well in their structured powers of position that they're almost, they feel like they're untouchable, and that's going to be their downfall. You mark my words, that will be their downfall.
Makes them sloppy.
Did you read Smoker Hontus's tweets yesterday about what's going on in Pike County? Because
I read
what
some.
she wrote.
Oh, I had just read some articles that she had posted on Facebook. But
there was one about, is it Ben Morris? I think he's going for jailer this term over there.
That may be Pike County, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in Pike. But what she wrote I messaged her after I read it. I went, oh my God, it's like you have read my mind and this is deja vu, but you've just transcribed names across to Pike County because the MO was exactly the same. It's like it, when you finally see the light and then that light just goes flash there, flash there, flash there. Oh shit, I can recognize it now. Do you know what I mean? It's the exact same MO over there and how they do it. Like he's the guy that's going for jailer. His wife owns was the director of some company that he is a security manager of the owner of another security company that manages that oversees that. And, and they pretty much run, if he gets this position as jailer, he will have all the control to the jail and all the control to some banking sector as well, because he's on the board of something. It's like the key to the golden goose. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's scary shit. Scary shit. So yes, I would recommend going over and having a look at her, reading her tweets. It's like looking in the mirror. But
I think what shocked me so much was your qualifications. There's not. I don't know if there's a list of qualifications for becoming jailer, but when I found out how much control and actual say they have in the county, you would want the highest trained, the best qualified, the most certified, educated one to handle all these grants and money that are coming in that, instead of,
But you want that for your sheriff too, wouldn't you? Because
oh gosh, yeah, of course, yeah.
My opinion, yeah. Anyway, so thank you for Mindful for letting me know that Banks passed in December 24. So that was 3 months after Mickey.
Yeah.
The judge. Ladies, do you think the preacher set up the sheriff, allegedly, of course? What did he say to Steins on the delivery route that morning and just before he went into the judge's chambers? Well, there you go. That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
That's the big mystery.
Correct. Now, if I could answer that, that would mean that I could find his statement, his interview transcript, his deposition, anything to do with testifying or providing information, being the last person that was with Mickey before the shooting. So, unfortunately, they're nowhere to be found.
Right.
Gone. Why? And then he was promptly shipped off to a ministry out in where? Hazard or something.
I think he's in
Harlan.
Where he's from originally. I think basically he went back home.
Home. Yeah, I've been sending a heap of stuff over to Brett, and I think I've suggested, because it's like he's saying one thing in Perry County, Nicole's saying another thing in Pike County, and I'm saying the same thing's happening in Letcher. How about we get together and like join forces and get on the same page? Instead of being individual, let's just get it all out there, because it's the exact same story.
Yep.
It's bizarre.
Just different names and different places.
Correct, it was. That's exactly what it was. Thank you, Brett Johnson Show. Yeah. Yes, that was why I was late, because I've got to change my stream time because I clashed with him. It's not cool. There is a poll too. Well, there should be, hopefully, about asking about who you think is responsible for allowing Ben pretty much 2 years free reign from the first time that his misconduct was reported to Mickey, and until the time that he was on leave without pay, like suspended from work. 2 years. Who is more responsible in that jail? Mickey or the jailer? Or Lena? or all of them. I'm not sure what I suppose as a deputy, he's responsible to Mickey, but as an employee of Kentucky State Correctional Services, as the ankle monitoring company, I don't know.
It's a mess.
Because it's on, county property in the courthouse. It could be a combination of the two, being the jail and
Jody, I can't hear you.
sorry.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Sorry. My brand new microphone, if you touch it, goes on silent.
Yeah.
And I accidentally touched it. Sorry. Right. Yeah. So, what's the name of the chick that owned the Kentucky State? Stockham. Betty Stockham. Is it her responsibility, or is it all three of them? Who's he answerable to when he's doing that at the courthouse? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Where do I start? All right. So, as you know, Ben was charged basically both criminally and civilly by Sabrina. It was originally 3 people, but Sabrina was the only one at the end to go through both the criminal and civil proceedings. So he was found guilty, or actually, no, he pleaded guilty in both cases, and is now a convicted sex offender and on the sex registry. And he was in command of the home incarceration program. And he used that program to sexually exploit the vulnerable women. And he took those victims into those chambers because he knew that there was no cameras there. And this is the reason why we actually have the cameras that video what happened in the chambers, is directly because of this case. They put them up straight afterwards to basically cover their own asses, but it's too little too late. And he did a cushy 6 months, and they pretty much kept everything under wraps until he had served his time, basically. So no one was really aware that the court case was happening, or that he was actually serving time, until after the fact. And as we found out the other day from Sabrina, this is how much they control the narrative. 2 weeks before he was to serve his sentence, they picked her up on some bogus charge, chucked her back into jail, didn't arraign her, and left her there until 2 weeks after he got out. Yeah.
That's sad.
Just tell me that's a coincidence. Really? So, yes, that's why there is
Sounds
now.
typical, but
Yeah, I know, but that's the sad thing. I was in the chat this afternoon tonight with Brett, and there was one lady in there that had said, I'd been abused since she was 12, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. That's awful. And in my head, I'm going, how many times have I heard this? It's like, it's like a birthright almost,
well,
and that's fucked.
Yes, and I'll tell you honestly, that's the whole reason I've always kind of spoke up and been a pain in the ass for some people, because once you hear these stories and how desperate they are for just someone to just hear them, they don't care about justice, or they just want to be heard for one time in their life and seen as a human being, not a criminal,
and
not
validated.
That's it, and it's heartbreaking.
They're ignored. You make a complaint that goes nowhere. There is evidence of hundreds of complaints being submitted to that jail, and not one of them ever.
And they're terrified of, because they've seen actual what's happened to people that have spoke up. You're labeled a whore. You're labeled, who wants to go through that? You're victimized again, over and over and over.
Or
I
you
can
end up where
understand it.
Jennifer Hill ended up.
It's
Did you hear me?
sad. Huh?
Or you end up where Jennifer Hill ended up.
Exactly. And where they tried with Sabrina. I mean,
That's, they've tried at least 3 times, at least.
Yep. And then,
That she not, well, actually 4, sorry.
But, no help came. No help came.
No.
Because it was like, oh, well.
The day that she left after they released her, 2 weeks after Ben got out, she had to go to her parole officer and do a drug screen, and she was full of fentanyl from the jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if she could get those records from her parole officer.
I would.
And that's why it went to a plea deal, because they don't want any of this shit coming out. None of it.
No.
None of it.
And they'll do whatever, harass.
They'll absolutely do whatever they need to.
Yeah.
100%. Well, that's another reason that Brianna's got the warrant out for her, because it was trumped up charges in the first place, wasn't it? At the start?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they have called her on some ridiculous parole violation.
It was basically a bag of Epsom salt.
Yeah.
They never tested it. When they asked for it to be tested, it was gone. They didn't know where it was at.
I disappeared.
So, it was like, well, they're already scared to death, so let's offer a plea deal. But, you got to do X, Y, Z, this program, that program, and, the minute you screw up.
You know why now, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I know why now. Why they get run through every program they can.
How many? So that was she got done for possession or distribution or both.
Possession, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and
then have it back.
She got charged with it twice. They charged her as with just assuming, I guess, without testing what it was, and then she was charged for drug unspecified. So she got charged twice for the same bag of Epsom salt. So,
really?
And it was one of them big gallon bags, she's like, who can afford that? I mean,
well,
it's just.
If they didn't test it, then they can't prove that it was meth either.
Right. But,
and that didn't go to trial. That's why they've got that over him.
Yep.
Because if that had gone to trial, that would have sure as shit come out.
And she asked for help. She knew that she had slipped. She went in and asked for help, and it backfired.
And how many years did she get for possession?
13.
Right. And now you compare that to rape, sodomy, and abuse of power, and tampering with an ankle monitor.
Yep.
And you get what?
6 months.
Actually, it was two counts, I think, initially. 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of sodomy, 2 counts of tampering with the ankle monitor.
Yep.
Or tampering with evidence or something like that. But this one got dropped with the deal.
Yeah.
1 charge each. And, you suddenly lose a witness halfway through.
Yeah.
That helps too. And apparently it was the Attorney General, Russell Coleman, that sealed all of the court deals, court documents and case summaries and everything. Everything. Gone. Where did I see that? Oh, yeah.
And another thing, they give these kids this totally inadequate attorneys. I mean, fresh new attorneys, they're scared to death, and they've got attorneys that don't know, they're stepping into our system, which isn't like any place else. And so, there's been a lot of mistakes made. A lot of mistakes made.
You think?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, here we go. Here's it. So On September the 28th, 2023, Ben Fields pled guilty to the third-degree rape and sodomy. He's now a registered sex offender, served 6 months, and received 6.5 years probation. His wife, Angie, who had been collecting the home incarceration fees, or had she? The cash? She was not contacted.
Nope.
And then was subsequently promoted and placed inside the courtroom. And not one person in that entire county have publicly condemned what happened. That is the sad part.
No one's come forward and made a
Nope.
statement apologizing to the women. Nobody has even admitted to any fault. You know, and one time and said, an apology would go a hell of a long way.
Yeah, that's
Just
what I
an
mean.
apology.
Validation.
That's it.
Something. And then when Sabrina filed the civil suit, that was additional violations and allegations as well, that included false imprisonment, assault and battery, malicious prosecution, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and gross negligence. And you can't put a figure on that. You cannot. There's nothing. There isn't enough zeros that could ever undo what's been done, ever.
No, I mean, they strategically destroy your life from top to bottom and then set you out in the middle of nowhere and be like, here you go.
So a convicted sex offender's wife gets promoted and placed inside the courtroom after her husband pleads guilty to rape. No one talks. No one demands any accountability. So the message is pretty fucking clear. Loyalty is rewarded and silence is the price of admission. So who fucking knew? Judge Mullins knew. Jimmy Kraft knew. Holly Boggs knew. Robbie Kinser knew. The other courthouse employees. It's only a small town. They were all aware of the complaints about Fields. All of them. Stacey Yates made 2 official complaints. They were dealt with by LaShawna and Carolyn.
Christine
Mullins. Okay, the 2 women at the front office there, the admin, and that was a long time before Ben was removed out of his position. So they're coming in. The complaints are coming in on all directions, from the outside, from inside, and no one does a fucking thing. 3 eyewitnesses described the judge actively orchestrating sexual abuse. Videos exist, and his deputy pleads guilty in his chambers, but the prosecution says there's insufficient evidence. Like, to charge a judge anyway, like for anything that went on with Mullins. It's fucked. So the timeline goes 23. Well, back in 2021 was when Brianna complained. 23, Jen. Oh, why did that skip? I'll have to start there. January 19th in 23, Jennifer Hill dies. A suspected poisoning overdose. So now she can't give her civil deposition, and that creates a lot of unwanted, unnecessary paperwork. They don't have to answer
for her anything.
Yeah. On the 28th of September that year, he pleads guilty to the 3rd-degree rape and sodomy. And then the following year, in the April, the depositions start. So Sabrina does hers in April, and in July, the Attorney General files the motion to quash all of the criminal investigation on Ben, and he invokes his sovereign immunity. That's like, no one does that. Like,
yeah,
no one. And he swore the grand jury to secrecy as well. And so that was in July. Then a few days later, Patty does her deposition, Patty Stockham. And then September the 16th is when Mickey sits his 5-hour deposition. And as we've read, he was questioned extensively. And he alleges that he did not know anything until that 31st of January 24. No, 25 must have been. No, sorry, he said in the deposition after the fact. Sorry. So January the 24th, when Judge Jimmy, what's his
Jimmy
name?
Craft,
Yes, and the other guy, Kinser, tell him,
Robert Cancer, yeah.
and he goes and relieves Ben of his position, that he tells in his deposition that's the first time he's heard about it, which is absolute bullshit. And I've got the brief to go through,
Yeah,
and show that. But the lead up to that, it just so happens that the woman that Mickey's having the alleged affair with, yes, hello. Oh, Felix, you've distracted me. Hello, darling. Hello, sweetheart. Oh, it must be raining outside. I've got a wet pussy. Ew. Ew. Yeah, so she takes Mickey to the doctor the day before with, who was the other lady that went?
I think Lashana and Christine took
That's
him
right.
to see Dr. McDougall.
Now, they're the two women at the front desk, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So this, are you seeing how this puzzle fits together and how they all stick together and protect one another?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So let me get this. I'll get
You
that.
know, our little community just, I mean, fairness, something, you know.
That's not a big ask. It's not a big
No.
ask.
Just accountability and fairness. That's it.
Yeah. And I don't think that's,
No, not at all.
in general. Jennifer Hill. Oh, okay. I hadn't read this bit. Jen Hill, she does deserve her own chapter, and I think she'll be the next one. I think that's
Yeah.
what we'll focus on next, because her and Lexi deserve to be heard.
Yeah.
And that certainly hasn't been addressed. Because in a case defined by silence, her silencing may be the most consequential of all. She was placed on the home incarceration under Ben's supervision in 2020 and was sexually exploited as well. But she retaliated. And when she resisted, she retaliated against when she was resisted. So when Ben learnt that she had complained, he then either would revoke her, like was it Jen that he said could go to her mum's funeral, someone's.
No, I believe that was someone else that was on house arrest. And it might have been, the story I heard was that it was somehow related to Bill Meade, his uncle. He didn't like the lady because she was with Uncle Bill or something, and it was her family's member's funeral. And just to be a tick turd, he decided, no, she don't get to go. So, but she was on house arrest at that time too. So, you know, he kind of gave the heads up or said yes or no to if they had to go, you know, say to a doctor's appointment, or, you know, anytime they left home, they were supposed to either notify him to let him know, or to, if they,
even when they didn't have their monitors on.
I think only if they had the monitors on. I mean, they kept them on, you know, they were supposed to keep them on at all times. So, you know, if they went outside of their range at home, you know, they would usually, if it was doctor's appointments, they would already have it pre-planned. You know, they would tell them I have to go to the doctor's on XYZ, or even people that have jobs, you know, I have to go to work from this time to that time, whatever days. But it was just, I think they needed them to call in to keep up with them, you know.
So I thought that he'd adjusted their geo fence or turned them off completely so that it wouldn't alert anyone.
Right. And that way, it was a way of, I guess, him getting by with what he was doing without drawing attention to it. So, you know.
the preacher definitely pushed Steins over the edge. Well, what's actually come out in this brief is straight from Mickey's attorney's mouth, and it's his belief that when they were, because it was only one meal, wasn't it? They normally used to deliver hundreds, but that particular day, it was one, and it was a regular customer, but it was a different address. And the story goes that the address was like right out in the bushland, basically, and they wanted Mickey to go up in a tandem 4x4, and that's when Mickey realized what was going on, pretty much, and so that's what rattled him. But Michael Clark was with him.
Yeah.
And if Mickey thought for a second that this threat was coming from someone surrounding the judge or to do with the judge, and Mickey never usually wore his weapon, did he? Like, he never had it. It wasn't common for him to have it on him.
No, I mean, if he was just scooting around town or, in regular clothes, not uniform. Yeah, I don't remember seeing him with it a lot.
And the day that the judge was shot, they were out doing lunch. He was doing a few deliveries of food, and he was in the courthouse. It wasn't, but he wore that to work that day. And he'd been at his aunt's the night before because of his increasing anxiety.
Yeah.
So, is it premeditated?
Well, let's see, the day before in the reports or in the documentation, it said they took him to see his doctor. They told him, it's anxiety. If I'm not mistaken, he was given something like Benadryl, or it wasn't anything.
He was given, it's a psych drug.
Okay.
He was given 2. I'll have to look it up. But yes, he was definitely given 2, and the doctor stated he was in active psychosis, and that he responded to the 2 drugs. Fuck, what's the name of it? Oh my god, it's so common too.
Thorazine, lithium.
It'll come to me. I don't like my brain at 1:30 in the morning.
But this happened the day before, which showed there was a crack in the glass there. There's already something not happening.
The definition of an active psychosis and a panic attack, I don't know. I mean, he was seen by a GP, not a psych.
Right.
I think, and I don't believe, like, after, when you see Mickey sitting there talking to Trotter about his boxing days and as he was a teen, there is not an active psychosis. I'm sorry.
No.
An active psychosis, you cannot just turn on and off.
Right. And the part that got me, I'll tell you, the one part that got me, that I thought, this ain't something ain't kicking here. As long as he's been in law enforcement, when they started talking to him about Miranda rights, and he was like, Miranda who?
Miranda who? Hello?
Who's Miranda? And most cops, I've been around, they've got that thing memorized front and back.
I know it by heart.
So, that was the point I kind of stopped and I thought, wait a minute, is he that thought, because that's something, like you said, he was talking about past events that happened maybe 15, 20 years before. And
and I think he was testing the waters too, because as soon as he asked the question and Trotter said, I don't know what you're talking about, he shut up. Did you see? But put your head down, shut up. Okay. And the next thing is the green light means that's on, doesn't it? The train of thought there. Right.
And then him not wanting to go back through an active crime scene. That was smart.
Crime scene. Did it ever get taped off? No.
No, not. I think I don't know.
No. Did they ever have to steam clean the tapestry? No. Yeah. All right. So the lead up Well, I'm just going to start here because I've got it in front of me now. So there's a theory going around that Judge Mullins was a cooperating witness or was about to become one because he was taken by the feds for 3 days before the day of the shooting, and came back and discussed nothing with nobody and wouldn't say a word and behaved like everything was normal. 3 days he was unaccounted for. That's and it sounds to me like, although I believe he's the brains behind the Title IV funding scam,
Yeah.
pretty much, and he's the one that comes up with the beautiful ideas on what to ask for and what grants we can apply for and how we put it together. I think he's the type of bloke that would throw everyone under the bus and save his own ass, basically.
Well, and you got to think too, they were concerned of what was going to come out in that deposition that day, because with what came out with Sabrina's about him, and nothing was ever
followed up or investigated
or anything.
Not enough evidence. Not enough evidence, according to the Attorney General's office. So they must have picked him up straight after Mickey's deposition. Then,
I'm
3 days between that and the shooting, because
I don't know. Like Kevin's timeline, I'm not real good with it. I haven't read.
Yeah, I haven't focused on that either.
Yeah, I've kind of. My thing is, I've got almost kind of like a photographic memory. That's why I kind of, I know the names and stuff because I've read through the deposition. So, when I'm not personally going against anybody, I'm just, I'm going through the depositions and remembering what I read or what, what I've seen. So, but, there's just a lot of secret squirrel stuff. There's a lot of things that they've left out.
Doesn't sit right. A lot of shit that doesn't fit this. Yeah.
Right.
So, there's circumstances that forms patterns that need explanation, basically. So he was named by at least 3. This is the reasons why. Well, seven pillars of the snitch theory, so to speak. All right. The first one is that he was almost untouchable. So he was named by at least 3 witnesses, Adkins, Tyre, and Sarah, as actively orchestrating sexual abuse in his chambers. There was a video that existed. We know that because Lexi gave it, and she took it to Mickey, and then she wound up in the same place as Jennifer. And the Attorney General's office, which successfully prosecuted Ben with the same evidence, declined to charge Mullins with anything.
Yeah.
So it's a well-known reason why deeply implicated individuals that aren't charged may become more valuable as a witness than as a defendant, perhaps.
Yeah.
The second reason, the Attorney General didn't just decline to prosecute. He actively fought in filing motions and getting, filed motions to quash and all sorts of shit, invoked his sovereign immunity, cited grand jury secrecy, and fought to keep that investigation filed sealed. And the same secrecy rule explicitly designed to protect informants and encourage free and what is it? Oh, that's a big word. Why would you do that? Anyway, basically to stop people, to protect the witnesses, basically the informants.
Yeah.
If there's nothing to protect, there's no cooperation, no deal, no sensitive information, then why a legal fortress around the file?
Yeah.
The motion to quash that was filed on July 5th to 24, the civil case depositions that were accelerating at that time. So if Ben had been deposed and Mickey was next, And then eventually the discovery process would have reached to Mullins himself. So if he was cooperating behind the scenes and feeding the information to the AG in exchange for immunity or whatever, or testimony to whoever was above him, the approaching depositions posed an existential threat. So under oath in a federal civil case, he would have had to choose and tell the truth and expose the deal, or lie and commit perjury. So 76 days after the motion to quash was filed, Mullins was killed. The deposition trigger, this is 4. Mickey was specifically questioned during his September deposition about whether the judge was aware of the misconduct, and the questions were circling around him. So his noose was tightening. The forensic psychiatrist, Dr. Carol Lieberman, concluded that Mickey's breakdown was driven by fear of what he could be forced to reveal about the judge and other officials. And a cooperating Mullins would have made that revelation inevitable and imminent. The location, reason 5. Mickey didn't shoot Mullins in a parking lot. Did he shoot him at all? Because this whole theory of Mullins being a snitch goes to the witness protection.
Yeah.
If he's going to be a snitch, then they have to make sure he's protected, yeah?
Yeah.
To be able to testify. Otherwise, there's no point. So he wasn't ambushed at home or anything. Like, he wasn't, jumped in the street.
Right.
He walked into those chambers, and the same chambers where the women were actually assaulted. So if it was for a silencing as an act of desperation by a man who believed Mullins was about to expose everything, then the location is either symbolic or deliberate. You don't kill a man in the place where the secrets are buried unless the secrets are worth what's driving you, basically. And you said that video had a snippet taken out of it because in the phone forensic downloads, Mickey had a FaceTime call with his aunt just before grabbing the judge's phone. I actually didn't notice that had been done. But then remember, we were watching it through, and Tyre said that the blonde-haired lady woman, once the gunshots were fired, the woman with the blonde hair running, and she ran and turned right and was going straight into the chambers, but she never actually was seen coming out the other side.
Right. It was Angie Fields. She went running towards the door, and if you watch it, she never goes through the door. I mean, you see her running like to get to back there.
Yeah, but you never see her coming out the other side where the camera goes into the chambers.
Yeah. So that kind of it's odd.
And I know that it flicks from one camera to the other, but you think that bit where she's running through, basically, because you can't see her coming, that's the only door that she could get out. She would have to go straight past that.
When she turned that corner, it would have put her straight in. I mean, running straight into that office. So,
at that time, Mickey was still in there because he went back in there to check on the desk. Remember?
Yeah.
So
because the security guard. So it was before the security guard had got.
Yep. Correct.
So
it was about a minute. I think I looked at the timestamp.
Yeah, and it's weird because it shows her. I mean, and you could tell it concerned her. She was scared because you see her scooting like a cartoon character around the corner, but to never see her come through that door.
She was running towards the gunshots. Was she?
I know that.
Was she scared? Was she going to check that they were all right, or was she, 'cause if you're scared, I'd be running in the opposite direction.
Opposite direction, that's
So
it'd be the smart thing to do if you don't know who the shooter is. You don't know who's been shot, because at that time they shouldn't have known.
No.
So they would have had no idea what they were going to be running into. So of course she was.
Sorry. If you're standing in that courtroom that they showed that where you could hear the gunshots with the two women were sitting there waiting, can you tell what direction? Like, is it easy to tell what direction a gunshot would come from?
In that room, you could tell it would come from the back of the I'm trying to, okay, there's a hallway. You go in through doors,
Yep.
and there's like this little entrance way. They got pamphlets and stuff, and there's a door to go into the court. There's a room on the left that's usually, it was Mike Watts's old office for like juveniles and things. And then you could go back like down that hallway, and there's little offices, and there was a bathroom, and then you go into the chambers. I've never been through like a side door of the court where you can go through the court and get back into those offices. You know,
is the chambers like at the one corner or one side of the courthouse? Like,
it's on the
back.
It's on the side. It's like on the left. Like if you're standing looking in front of the courthouse, it's going to be that front, left, and side. There would be the.
Is there another avenue to get out on the right? Or is that the only way?
Used to they had side doors. You had side doors that you could go in and out of, to go upstairs to take care of, driver's license, things like that. For some reason, a couple of years ago, they just locked them. And so you had to go through the front. So
is there like a public access central door that she could have run to other than going the back way?
No, there was no way to get, there isn't I don't think, like I said, I've not been in that back part myself. So
the entrance to the courtroom is at the front there.
Yeah, at the main front is the entrance to the courtroom. As soon as you come through the door, it's off to the left.
So if you're standing in that courtroom and you hear a gunshot behind you, you would run forward out the front door.
Yeah, okay. They would have heard it from the back left. They would have heard the shot from the back left or the front left, and they would have ran to the right to get out of the courtroom and then straight out the doors.
Out the front door.
Yep.
So there was another exit. She didn't have to go that back way towards the sound.
No.
That sounds bizarre to me. That's weird. Why would you run towards a fucking shot?
Well, and then not even show up. That's the part that kind of confused me because, like I said, there's no way she could have dead halted at the speed she was going. So I never understood why you see her going, but then you never see her inside or outside.
She ran like she was scared. Like,
yeah, concerned, scared, something. She did.
Yep. I just don't get why you would run towards that. Unless her fear was for the judge's safety. But I don't know if I would risk that with a gunshot myself, just so quietly, regardless how much,
Well, they took care of her family. Like you said, when all that happened at the jail,
So she was close to Kevin.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's where she was working, was up in his office, somehow linked with all that.
Makes more sense. So maybe she was concerned. But then why don't you see her rendering aid?
Right. Or even coming through the door. It would have made sense if you just come through that door.
That was the reason she headed in that direction. Well, wouldn't she have stopped to fucking try and help him?
Right.
I don't fucking get it.
I don't.
That doesn't make sense.
But now if she'd have went in and kind of seen the scene was clear, that would have made sense of why the security officer stood there and because of saying, holstered his gun because maybe he knew the threat was gone, or I don't know. I hate that.
Less than a minute after the gunshots.
Right.
There's no way he could have established that. And you've got the chambers room, and then behind that you've got the smoking room. What's behind that hallway that goes around to the front?
It's the official office. Kevin has a nice office. I'll put it this way. I was in there one time for my youngin', and it was a nice wooden desk with shelves, and it was a nice room. So that's what I thought was the chambers. I didn't.
That's what he presented to the public to make himself look more official.
And then you had the cool kids, had their little lunchroom and smoke area and whatever. So
So past that smoking room, you're saying that there's Kevin's official office and then that big long hallway where we saw them come in with Preacher Man. And then they turned the corner.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, you can see his office as she's running. The corner that she turns, that door, there, if I'm not mistaken, you can see the office right there. But I haven't watched it in a while. But you can tell it's definitely an office there. And then she seems to like she's running to turn a right-hand turn into the room.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't think they could have mirrored that?
I don't know. To me personally, I don't understand. If you're trying to catch someone doing something and you install cameras, you're going to install sound too. I'm sure it's not an extremely amount to add that.
But I do understand why they haven't produced it, because that's part of the investigation. They can't.
Yes. Yeah.
I get that. But they didn't have to take all of it. We could have heard the conversation that was going on before he kicked everyone out of the room.
Well, that, and then a thing I didn't understand was everybody had a deposition, even the other people that was in the room, they did a video deposition with them to, what happened and everything else.
Michael Clark.
No, Michael Clark, which I understand he may be very pivotal to the point, or but it's just, they're literally, they give you nothing, and so it's like, well, as a community, what should we,
Yeah. This is the reason why there is cameras in courtrooms, because this is why transparency is needed.
Very much
for this
so.
very reason. Yeah. And why hide something if you got nothing to hide?
Right.
Whenever I hear, unless it's a protect a witness or a child that could, be harmed from information getting loose, or that it's extremely revolting, I don't see why we need the need to gag it, like to file it away and lock it, It happens far too often. And that's exactly what's happened to the case that I follow, that I've been investigating over here with the Port Arthur massacre, Poor guy had the IQ of a 12-year-old, basically, and they forced him. His own attorney admitted that he blackmailed him into the guilty plea, but he still got 35 consecutive life sentences, and he didn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
But it's filed away. It is filed away until, well, believe it or not, it was filed away for 30 years. Oh, the anniversary is this month, 30-year anniversary, 28th of April. So that's the date that it was supposed to be removed 30 years later, that gag.
Yeah.
But Paul Motor is one of the guys that has been investigating it for 9 years on his channel called The Wasp Files. And as soon as he started asking for FOIA requests and all sorts of shit, they added another 70 years to it. So it will be released when Tyre gets off parole, pretty much.
Yeah. We did the math on her. She'll be 114 years old.
Yep. Yep. So why would you do that? Why? They say it's to protect the victims.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Transparency is another thing, just like accountability and fairness and everything else. It's non-existent.
Yeah. All right. So after the shooting, the prosecution lied to the grand jury about the civil case connection. They said that Steins was sane when records showed that he had an active psychosis the day before. They withheld the psych records, and Mickey has actually put in motions to have those released, but they won't. And they ignored the grand jury. Grand jury requested them, and they did not produce them. Refused. So if it was a straightforward murder prosecution, then why the deception?
Right.
So
Right.
unless the
What's
trial
the
itself
problem?
was to expose the things that extended far beyond Mickey Steins and the things sitting in the sealed files that the Attorney General's office is guarding.
Yep.
Maybe. Just saying. And then number 7, after Fields pled guilty, nobody in Letcher County spoke out. Yeah, no one has ever come forward and made a statement about it. Nothing.
No.
And where's Ben? No one knows where he is. He's gone. Poof, the face of the earth. His wife was promoted. Complaints were ignored. Witnesses were scared. And the behaviour of a power structure that rewards the silence over everything else. It's in that context. A judge who's about to break that silence to cooperate and testify and tell the truth wouldn't just be a traitor to the network. He'd be a threat.
Big one.
Yep. Every institution in Letcher County failed. The sheriff failed to investigate. The judge's chambers became a crime scene. The Attorney General sealed the files. The prosecutor was allegedly linked to a dead witness's drug. That's right. I think that was Edison Banks. He was linked somewhere in the filings to providing the drugs for Jennifer.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's just jogged my memory. And the one person who's about to be forced to answer the questions under oath was the judge, and now he's allegedly dead.
Right.
Is it a cover-up? Or is it... question isn't whether this is a cover-up, it's how high up does it go?
Right.
And that scares me because I can't work out who has the level of access, I suppose, to be able to manipulate people's individual bank accounts. I don't.
Our livelihoods, everything. And, this past week, it was like a series of unfortunate events for almost all of us that have said it, anything about anything. We, family members and this and that and different things, and it's just been.
This week just gone?
Huh?
This week just gone?
Yeah, I mean, we've had, just a lot of situations come up, I'll let Ty speak on hers personally when, she's ready to, but, we've had a lot of little things slung our way this week that was kind of,
okay.
Makes you feel a little like she ran over, I guess, or concerned that,
So you think that they're actively doing another scare tactic campaign?
Some retaliation, and some scare tactics to get everything quieted back down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we hadn't got a whole lot of time to talk and stuff. So, but I mean, well, my situation, but we've been put through it. And so, it's sad though, because they steal everything you have. And then, like me, I'm sitting, I have nothing to lose. I'm it's at that point. So, the intimidation, they know they have to go around me, and the only other way is my children. So, but they're, they're just different. Don't know what word to use.
Okay, well, that explains why I haven't heard from you. Right, we will talk.
Yes.
I know I've been flat this week too, so I apologise. I've not been. I've been.
We've all been out of sorts.
Yeah. All right, Commonwealth's likely defence. Where did that go? If you had one question that you could ask Mickey, what would it be?
If I could?
Yeah. Anyone else got any? If you had one question to ask Mickey, pop it in the chat and tell me what you would ask. and why?
I know.
What?
I know mine.
Go on.
Tell me what happened on the delivery. That's it.
Oh,
Because I think whatever kicked that day off happened at that arrangement. And that's my personal opinion. But if you watch the tape before they left, they were laughing and cutting up and had lunch together. And yeah, he was out of character quite for himself. You know, he might not have been himself, but I don't think before lunch anybody thought what happened that day was going to happen. And I don't even think he knew. You know, I feel that something happened that gave him a fear for his family. And, you know,
I absolutely believe that. But
so that would be my question, would be what happened on the delivery, I think would be.
and that again begs the question, why wasn't there anything from like you watch him, if something had really happened up there and Mickey was scared for his life, then Michael Clark would have known that. So
Right.
he's walked into the office with Mickey, and the first thing that Mickey does is kick everybody else and lock the door. Wouldn't you
Go immediately.
well, no, Michael just like, see you later, no worries. Okay, that would concern me if I was him.
I mean,
I would try and do
would've-
something to, hey,
I
what's
would've
going
went
on?
out-
Are you all right?
Right.
Fucking,
you need me, or you know, or I would have me in that situation. I'd have went
No-
straight out and got court
no
security
questions. No
and said,
questions.
"Listen, he had a weird attitude. He was acting strange. If he kicked us out of the room, that's odd for him. Can you help me? Let's go back here and see if everything's okay. You know, just let's pop in and check on him. You know."
There is actually audio. His attorney has stated in his in media interviews and stuff that the audio was taken off because it's part of the active investigation. But he stated that once you hear the audio that goes with it, that explains everything. That was what he pretty much said.
Yeah.
In the media. So, and it's been documented. It was in the brief as well. I've got that. I will bring it up. Where did I put it? Let me see. But yeah, there was a whole heap of things that he brought up in this motion in support of the motion to dismiss that never really have been addressed at all, which is what worried me. Where is it? Mickey Steins. It had, here we go. Let me bring it up. Get rid of that. Share this. Is that it? Add to stage. There we go. But this was filed back in February last year by the defence. Can you all see that? So it's the brief in support of the motion, and this has not been ruled on yet. Has not been addressed. So it comes now the defendant. Rah 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 rah. So this is the brief that says that a statement by Detective Stamper that defendant was in his sane mind is false and intentionally misleading and was prejudicial to the defendant. So the indictment returned by a legally constituted unbiased grand jury, if valid on its face, is enough to call for trial of the charge on its merits. However, dismissal of the indictment by a trial court is appropriate if it's established that a violation substantially influenced the grand jury's decision to indict, or if there is grave doubt that the decision to indict was free from the substantial influence of such violations. A court may dismiss an indictment where a prosecutor knowingly or intentionally presents false, misleading, or perjured testimony to the grand jury that results in actual prejudice to the defendant. In Commonwealth v. Baker, a detective falsely testified. Yeah, rah, rah, rah. Okay, so they've got case law. The court also found that the Commonwealth's attorney had knowingly or recklessly elicited false testimony, and that the detective voluntarily testified even though he had no personal knowledge of the facts or of the case. On appeal, this is still the fucking case law. Sorry. All right. In this case, but the Commonwealth elicited and Detective Clayton Stamper testified to multiple false statements before the Letcher County grand jury. The testimony prejudices Mr. Sines and resulted in an indictment, and the case was presented to the grand jury approximately 2 months after the defendant's arrest and preliminary hearing. 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah.
Before he was indicted. Is that excessively long? I thought that was the first thing that happened.
It is. It is part of the First Amendment. Yeah. But
2 months.
Yep.
Does anyone know if that's a long time?
If you're the one sitting there, yeah, it's a long time.
Well, we
But
know that the jail
think
wasn't uncommon for that.
I think what it is you have a lot of people that, yes, there's video that he walked in and this happened. There is video, but you got to understand what got him there. You know, that's the part I think that gets kind of skewed, or, you know, we're not saying, you know, he's the best guy, you know, this or that or whatever, but, you know, there's just, you have to have a reason,
Correct.
you know, and so I just.
I'm such an idiot.
What?
I have got this drawn up twice, and I'm reading off one, and I'm sharing the other one. So you're not seeing me scroll anything.
I wondered what I just kept looking at it.
There's nothing wrong with me. Yeah, there must be two of them. I've got one hidden away behind tabs or something. There must be two open because you're not seeing what I'm seeing.
Yep.
What's that one? APG. Okay. An idiot. Such a knob jockey.
No.
A jockey of the knob. That's not there. Ah, it's in the Google. Okay. All right. I got it now. There we go. See, it's moving.
Yay.
All right. We're up to. Oh, skip that a bit fast. Okay. We're right here. All right. So. Was it there? All statements, the case presented to the grand jury. Yeah, 2 months after the defendant's arrest. The detective and the Attorney General's office had ample opportunity to investigate and review the evidence, including witness statements before presentation to the grand jury. Unlike the testifying officer in the previous case law, Detective Stamper is the lead investigator in this case. And I was watching that hearing the other day. He just was so vague. What are the names of the Oh, your phone's ringing, isn't it?
Look. Yeah.
Yeah. I get echo when I hear that when your phone goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, what were the names of the witnesses that were questioned after the shooting? And he's like, oh, I don't know them off the top of my head. Like, fuck off. Really? These people work in that courtroom with you, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
maybe that's why he retired right after that.
Yeah, I think. Well, he's not in his official capacity then, is he?
Nope.
After the Commonwealth concluded its examination, multiple grand jurors asked very specific questions of the detective, and the answers to which clearly influenced their decision to indict. Had the Commonwealth presented truthful and accurate testimony to the grand jury, the outcome would likely have been different. On November 21st, the Kentucky State Police Detective Clayton Stamper testified before the Letcher County grand jury seeking a murder indictment. Yeah, well, we've gone through that. So that was the first one. Stated in his recent hearing, the defendant believes it is unwise to even allow the witness to go. While the Commonwealth argues that the defence is confused about the rules of civil procedure. The defendant respectfully disagrees. The defendant does not submit to this court that the Commonwealth needed an expert to testify as to the mental health of the defendant.
That's actually very important, I would think.
Yes, he's a fucking investigator. He's not a psychiatrist.
Right.
Well, the Commonwealth cannot do is mislead the grand jury, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
As a result of this reckless provision of information that is objectively untrue. The defendant will outline on its basis for the claim, but seeks an evidentiary hearing to put on further evidence in support of its position if necessary. And as I said, none of this has been dealt with. He was questioned, Stamper was questioned about whether there was any type of hallucination, psychosis, depression, any mental health. That should have been asked of him.
Yes.
It's an appropriate question to ask for his opinion, because he's not qualified to give it.
Right.
He was asked if there was any mental health issues in the documentation from Dr. McDougall, which is the doctor that Mickey saw the day prior. Okay?
Right.
And the Attorney General hands Stamper and asks him to read a snippet of the record from Mickey's medical visit. And he read a small part of it, but he didn't read it all. And so it was it says the Commonwealth and its witnesses do not disclose that the same records from the day before the shooting that his doctor diagnosed an acute stress reaction. So they didn't read that bit out. They read something else. Another juror asked, so Dr. McDougall said pretty much there's no mental health issues, but was there any major physical health issues that he was struggling with that might have affected his mental health? And the witness answered, no, not that I'm aware of. A quick Wikipedia glance reveals the following. Acute stress reaction, also known as psychological shock, mental shock, or simply shock, as well as acute stress disorder, is a psychological response to a terrifying, traumatic, or surprising experience. The reactions may include, but are not limited to, intrusive thoughts, disassociation, and reactive symptoms such as avoidance or hyperarousal. It may be exhibited for days or weeks after the traumatic event if the condition is not correctly addressed. It may also develop then into post-traumatic stress disorder. The grand jury asked for medical records. A snippet was read to them and they were told there was nothing of note in them. The diagnosis from this visit makes it evident that this is untrue. Blah, blah, blah. Second, the Commonwealth has represented that the first unrecorded meeting was for the purposes of obtaining grand jury subpoenas for Appalachian Regional Hospital records at Letcher County Jail. However, the Commonwealth's witness failed to note the mental health evaluations that were initiated by the government vis-a-vis the jail. These examinations were conducted at Kentucky River Community Care on September 20th, 24 and September 24th. Those evaluations included observations of active psychosis. So this is Mickey's mental health assessment after. Okay, that's what they've been trying to subpoena.
Yeah.
Seroquel.
Yes.
So those evaluations included observations of active psychosis and had been given Risperidol and Seroquel. Yep, they're the two. Yep. As noted in the medical records.
Seroquel is usually they give it for like bipolar and
along with lithium. But Seroquel is like the first line antipsychotic, basically.
Yeah.
It's really common, really, really common. The same notes indicate that Mr. Steins had been seeking his PCP. Seeing his PCP.
That's your doctor, primary care physician.
Yep. Okay, I'm with you. For stress and anxiety. Was he on any antidepressants or anything? Do you know, or
not that I'm aware of? I mean, he could have been, but I just know that they had made a point to say that he had went to the doctor the day before the shooting. So. Because they said he had been acting real weird and they were concerned about him and, there was a lot going on. So I think that's why the girls at the office, they got him to the doctor, which,
yeah.
I'm kind of, you know,
Yeah. The Commonwealth chose to ignore the record request of the grand jury for mental health and jail records from June 2024 through to the present. This was supposed to be the only purpose of the unrecorded meeting. The Commonwealth then allowed their witnesses to state that the investigation did not reveal any evidence of a mental health issue, despite Dr. McDougall noting an acute stress reaction the day prior to the shooting, and mental health providers working within the jail describing an active psychosis and then prescribing the Seroquel and Risperidol. So the grand jury didn't know any of that.
yeah. And they should have.
Yeah. A failure to comply, or at best selectively comply, with the grand jury's request for subpoenas, coupled with the prosecutor allowing the detective to make such recklessly false statements, falls well within the Baker described as misconduct at the grand jury stage. There you go. Jail referred Mr. Stein for mental health evaluations. The jail administered the psychological medications, blah, blah, blah. The Commonwealth's not free to cherry pick what items the grand jury gets to hear about. Yeah.
That kind of sounds like exactly what they're.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was other things in here too. Let me go through them. So that's all about the withholding evidence. Additionally, Kentucky State Police, under direction of lead investigator Stamper, conducted multiple interviews. What did I miss there? Yeah. Okay. Practically all the interviews call into question the defendant's mental status in the week preceding the shooting. On September 20th, KSP interviewed attorney Daniel Dotson. Yes, now this is another one. All right. Dotson says that he told the defendant to seek a medical health evaluation prior to the shooting, and the defendant told him he was going to see his family doctor. What else did Dotson claim to have said?
He
Give him
said quite a
$2,000
bit.
unalive yourself.
Yeah, he said a lot. He also said, very derogatory comments towards Sabrina. He's just obnoxious.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. From what I've read of him, I took an instant dislike to him. He said that the defendant never threatened him or Judge Mullins, but he was so concerned about Mickey's demeanor, he contacted the Kentucky Bar Association to determine what action he could take. Really? Yeah. Does that include a hot shot?
When did that? Is there record of that? Or
apparently, well, this is Dotson's statement. Dotson also told the Kentucky State Police that he spoke to Kevin Mullins and told him that Mickey was losing it and couldn't take this kind of pressure. What kind of pressure? Exactly. Why would there be any pressure? Exactly. Why would there be any pressure if he hadn't done anything wrong?
If anything wasn't wrong, you're right. What pressure are they talking about?
He actually quoted this in reference to the civil suit involving some crack whore wanting money.
Exactly.
That's how he referred to fucking Sabrina.
Yep.
Like, really?
Exactly. And so you could give you an idea of how the women in our community feel. I mean, we're,
Sorry, Lee, I didn't see you there, love. I've been reading at a depot. Did you want to pop up? I can I'll put the link in chat. Link in chat. Yes, that's right. Link in chat. There we go. Copy. Sorry, I haven't even looked at the bloody comments. Sorry. I'm probably missing a heap. There we go. That was what? Hopefully he's still here. That was 5 minutes ago. Whoops. My bad. Oh no, he's still here. Not quite ready yet. Yeah, no worries, sweetheart. Yes, we do. We do. Yes. I've been brainstorming that, but yeah, that's another. yes, we're actually talking about perhaps doing a regular weekly stream dedicated purely to Letcher County, because it is so voluminous and so in depth that it can't be just skimmed on, like, you know what I mean? It's got to be step by step, and it's got to be methodical to get the whole story and the big picture.
Because they're going to do everything possible to kind of keep it hush.
Oh,
Keep
yes.
quiet. Keep people
Yes.
quiet. Keep, you know, so.
It sounds like there's another wave of intimidation and retribution going on at the moment too, Lee, that I've just been made aware of. So I'm going to speak to Brandy after the stream, but yeah, don't like it. All right, so Dotson now this Dotson is the attorney who's in charge of the family court, correct?
Well,
so he makes the family decisions.
He was family court commissioner, and he retired in the spring after, so it would have been sometime in the spring of 25.
5, okay.
20, yeah. And Jimmy Kraft then took over like the family court cases. So, you know, we went from Daniel over to Jimmy, but he retired, but he still is an attorney in town. So,
yeah, he's on disability, I think, part-time at the courthouse. And Dotson goes on to tell the Kentucky State Police that he spent hours researching if Mickey had paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Dr. Google. Dotson said that Mickey was criminally insane. Thank you, Dr. Dotson. Good job, old chap. You haven't got a finger in that pie at all, have you? There's no reason for you to adjust the narrative at all.
No, be it.
Dotson says that Whitesburg Police Chief Tyrone Fields, there's another Fields.
Yeah.
Told Dotson that on Wednesday night, the night prior to the shooting, that Mickey had called him, and when he got off the phone, he told his wife, "Is that son of a bitch has lost his mind."
Mm-hmm. Who's his
wife?
wife?
Paranoid thoughts. Well, were they paranoid?
Do you know who his wife is?
No.
Tyrone Fields' wife is Ashley Sturgill, the guardian ad litem for the children.
Fucked.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. She is the guardian ad litem for the children.
Well, that's her like side role. She's an attorney at isn't she a prosecutor at the courthouse as well?
She's an attorney. Her office is now in Daniel Dotson's old office. And all I know her as, I know she's an attorney, but she is the guardian ad litem for the children in the cases.
The way that I read it is that the attorneys there sort of share that role, and they like cycled as part of an additional thing that they have to do for their position, but it's not their main role. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I took it.
I always took it like it was kind of an extra job, kind of like the house arrest situation.
Yep. And it's like if you're on call for that day and any cases come in, then that you have to take that on as a roster type system, rotationally. What did you say? Chief Fields was investigated by the KSP directly, and he stated the defendant's demeanour had changed markedly, and there was chatter that Mickey was unwell or off his rocker.
Yeah.
He states that he was looking for Mickey to discuss his mental health and refer him to help that is available.
But let's don't take his gun and put him on administrative leave, even though
why didn't they
saying this?
Why he went to the doctor the day before and was in active psychosis. Why was he still brandishing a weapon?
There you go. That's been my question the whole time. That right there should have been an automatic. You need to take some time off work.
Yes.
You need a break. If you don't take a break, on a breakdown. So, at that moment, if they seen him was inside, I don't understand why at that point his gun and badge wasn't.
Good point.
I'm not saying taken, but it should have been withheld for a little while.
Yes. Surely there has to be some law or precaution or something to say that, if you're
If
having.
your sheriff is in active psychosis, he don't need to
Yeah,
be the sheriff
that
at
would
the
be a good
moment.
cause. That would be a good time to use it, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
just saying. But then none of them followed procedure down there. None of them.
Nope.
Not even when
Nope.
the procedure for, questioning someone who's been accused of sexual assault, there is a whole massive big list of things that the sheriff's supposed to do when questioning that person, and he did none of it.
Absolutely none of it. No.
None. In fact, he did the opposite. Like, he walked into drug court. Ben, come here. There's been another one. Like,
Yeah.
well, that in itself tells me that he fucking knew. But
Yeah, because he got to have one for another.
depositions, the dates that Brianna reported it to him, so there's no getting around it. He fucking knew 2 years beforehand.
Yeah.
And don't tell me that Christine Bowling didn't know, or Lashawna knew.
Lashawna, yeah.
Yeah, Bert knew, Brian knew. If that was a Chinese, like if someone said that to someone in that courthouse, it'd be like wildfire going through the whole place. It's not something,
Yeah.
Who are they kidding? Rocker. Christine Bowling told KSP that the staff had stated they were concerned about Mickey due to his very strange behaviour, specifically the day before. Sheriff told her that Daniel Dotson had told him to give him money and kill himself, or they were going to kill Caroline and Lila. Bowling states that the sheriff insisted on going to his home to check on his family and made her get his bulletproof vest on and have someone call and check on Lila the day before. This is confirmed by Ring video footage provided in reciprocal discovery. There you go. Bowling states that she and other staff took the sheriff to Dr. McDougall based on the strange behaviour. Bowling stated that during hang on. You said to me that he stayed at the aunt's the night before because he was acting so weird, so his wife kicked him out.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very fucking supportive to me. If that was my husband.
I wondered about that too, because his wife is a wonderful person. I mean, I personally, I like her. I mean, she's a nice person. So I kind of wondered about that too. And, and I've heard that
doesn't make sense.
Since day one. And I don't know. I would think that she would be there too.
The same night that his girlfriend has taken him to the doctor, maybe, and the wife's copped wind of it.
With this case, anything is possible, but it's just odd because this is all out of character for everybody.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, like it's out of character for all these people to be, things that are the way it happened. I'll put it that way. Because I always wondered why she didn't take him to the doctor. I would have, if I had a guy friend that was married, I would call his wife and say, hey, listen, he's acting kind of weird here at work. Why don't you come talk him into going to the doctor, or something like that. But, I guess people handle things differently,
I reckon that, it's one thing having a secret affair where it's, behind closed doors and the rest of it. But as soon as you start fronting up to doctor's appointments with the other woman, I reckon she might have gone, you know what, fuck you.
Well, I'll tell you another thing too. I would have been irate. I'll put it that way. If I'd have watched that video of after it happened and how, Lashawna was standing there in shock. I mean, literally, you could tell she just didn't know what to say, do. I mean, and if anybody's seen the video, you know what I mean. As a woman, that's
absolutely,
that was just out of character, big time. So, I don't know. There may be more to that story too. You know, they have left so much out. They threw bits and pieces out, what they want out.
Yeah. And it's funny that the people that are closest to Mickey are telling one story, and the people that have got something to gain by Mickey, you know, being mentally ill, all say the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Yeah.
And the case is presented in a misinformed way to the grand jury.
I mean, and you know, I've told you before, Mickey would be the last person I would ever think would do that. I just, you know, it's just so out of character for him.
Yeah.
You know, just.
You're not alone in saying that at all.
Yeah.
Nothing's making sense.
No, nothing. And you know, you'll start building the puzzle, and then you know you'll read back through a deposition like me and you were talking, and you'll find something that you didn't read the first time.
Yes.
And it's like, wait a minute, and then you know you kind of dig around in that, and then you keep the part that kills you is when you're digging around and you kind of go down the rabbit hole. You hit a brick wall. With everything I've ever went after, there's a brick wall. There's a point to where you get to, and there's just nowhere else to go. You know, you can't get FOIAs. You can't get, you know, normal documentation that everybody else.
And why is that? Why?
Right. Exactly.
Only because
it would implode.
Yeah.
The whole place would implode on itself. It would.
Yep. There's a reason they are, you know, available to the public, or should be.
Yeah.
Freedom of information. So they, again, you know, infringing on your civil rights.
Exactly.
Again, something different. So the KSP detective testified that a witness who was with Mr. Sines immediately prior to the incident did not notice anything particular. That'd be Michael Clark, wouldn't it? Detective Stamper testified that Mr. Sines was with Michael Watts making a food delivery immediately prior to the incident. That's right. Stamper testified at the hearing that it was Watts and not Clark. He fucked it up.
Right. I started to say, wrong Mike.
Right, yes. I remember this bit. The statement in and of itself was false, as interviews show that Mr. Sines delivered food with Michael Clark. So this is your lead investigator telling the grand jury the facts of the case.
Right.
And can't even get the right fucking witness. Yeah?
Yeah. You know, this is important. These are families and lives,
but he works with these people every day.
Right.
Doesn't he?
I mean,
he doesn't know everyone in that courthouse.
Right. And you know, like I said, the very suspicious retirement right after the testimony. He just retired out. And I don't even know who's over the case now. I've not even heard it mentioned.
No. So if he walked into that courtroom, is there someone that he would not know or wouldn't know him?
I would think they would know each other. I mean, you know, he was sitting at the interview saying, you know, they was telling him, you know, Mickey, you've known us for years. You know, we've worked together for years. Why would you think we would do that to you? You know, that kind of jazz.
Does he ever get called in to the courthouse to testify for felons or anything? Like,
I don't know at what capacity, you know, he was at. I know they have, you know, detectives throughout the county. You've got the troopers that patrol and arrest people and things like that, and then you've got the detectives that, you know, that come in and do the detective stuff. So he probably had worked with them at one time or another on a case, because you know he was
a detective. Then he'd be called in to all of them.
Yeah,
going to court.
So I mean, they knew each other. And you know, he, like I said, that he done even in the video, you know, telling Mickey, why would you think we would do that? You know, we've known each other. we've known you forever, you work with us every day, so
Yeah.
he, they constituted right there with that conversation that they knew each other. So when he gets on the stand fumbling around with names,
Yeah.
I was confused. I was like,
Uh-huh.
what are you doing?
He would have met Michael Clark before, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Michael Clark was community liaison for ARC. So, I mean, they would have probably, at one point or another offered somebody rehab or something, maybe. I don't, I'm sure they knew each other.
Yeah. At cross paths, it's not a huge.
Because if you notice the environment that they were having before the incident, they were off hanging out, smoking cigarettes, this kind of like you're at a buddy's house having lunch, everybody was just chilling. So there wasn't a, I don't know, like that professionalism or that authority. It's like, so it's a very weird, it's
there is
weird
something that isn't weird in Letcher County, I have to tell you that. Not one thing.
No, that is the truth.
Yeah. In an interview with KSP, Michael Clark immediately following the incident, Clark described being very close with Mr. Steins and noticing that Mr. Steins was off and distant and like something was bothering him and that his mind was somewhere else. Even more reason you should have questioned him leaving that fucking room.
Yeah.
LaShawna Fraser.
I said I often sometimes think he holds such a large key that may be why they have not released any of his testimony.
I want to know.
He may hold a very large key to everything.
I think that would be my question. What was the conversation, and what made you think that you were being lured out there in the conversation that proceeded in the car on the way back to the courthouse?
Yeah.
Because that would incriminate Michael, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Right.
He knows more than he's letting on. He does.
Yeah.
How could he not?
I mean, he could have pled the fifth,
Yeah.
Because it would have been incriminated. So, we really don't know at this point. We know he has a large role in it. We know he's a big factor in it, but we don't know to what, like what part, And
all right, so I'm just going to, if you go out and get lured out to the bush and are in fear of your life and you've got someone with you, and to that point you leave and head back to the courthouse, you would think that they would both be in a bit of a fucking tiz, wouldn't you?
Right. See, that's the thing I didn't understand. He come in kind of huffy, a little, for him.
Michael was fine.
So it was one of those things that just everything was off. I mean, really, everything was off on that.
And wouldn't you not have rung the judge whilst you're on your way home? Hey,
yeah, or send a text message. Send a text message and say, listen, he's acting weird. We're getting ready to come in. Just a heads up, something.
Or how about maybe you use your fucking sheriff's position and maybe arrest the people that are threatening you? I don't know. Putting that out there.
See that? I've never thought of that. I have never thought of that.
Why? He had his weapon on him.
Right.
Why could he not stand up for himself?
That's a very, very good question.
Yeah. The fuck? Why didn't you just fucking clap him in the handcuffs and haul their asses in?
Right.
Like a normal fucking sheriff would if they're threatening you.
Unless it was somebody who knew.
It's a bigger entity than a one person alone. Yeah.
Right.
It's a system. It's not an individual.
Right.
He's not just fighting the person standing in front of him. He's just the messenger.
Yep.
Yeah. Even so, there would have been a phone call. I would have gone, hey, fuck ya. You fucking blah, 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 blah. What's going on, to the judge?
Yeah.
That was And
I
then
mean, I would if my friend was flipping out and having, a meltdown. You would have to warn somebody. I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
And how would he associate that threat to the judge?
right.
Why would he think that that's come from Mullins?
Very
He
good
must have.
question.
Why would he go there and analyze someone who he wasn't aware was involved in
Well,
the threat?
wasn't it told that there was a conversation either before lunch or during lunch or right after lunch where Mullins said something to the effect of, "Do we need to talk about this privately?"
That was at lunch. And
Okay.
Mickey, no, this is in here. It's in here. What happened? What the discussion was at lunch
Okay.
at the table? Yes, and Michael made a big. Yes, we'll get to that. That reminded me. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that was another thing. What was discussed at the lunch as well, like because it
Yeah.
was mentioned about the gun. Because
what
noted.
case or what I had thought one time, and this is just my opinion, this is 110% just my opinion, but I thought that where Kevin handled domestic situations,
Yep.
what if he gave a EPO or something to Mrs. Steins, or he maybe heard through the grapevine that his wife was going to do that because she was worried, and he thought that maybe Kevin would give it to her, and maybe he was going to lose his family that way. That was one thought I had in the beginning, because if it would have been a domestic situation at home, Kevin would have been the judge that would have took care of, say, an EPO or a domestic violence order, or, huh?
It's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, they'd have done it anyway, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
true,
that would have bothered them.
What kind of domestic are you talking about? Like,
Well, if it's true that she didn't let him stay there the night before, if she didn't let him stay home the night before, what if she was in fear that he was slipping it or losing it, and maybe he got loud or maybe scared her, and she told him, "You're not staying here," and maybe he got it in his mind that she would go in the next day, and
is that something that you could see in Mickey's character, that he would behave like that to his wife? Or
it's really not. It's really
No.
not. But
Yes.
if he was in psychosis, I know people that are beautiful, splendid, wonderful people, but the minute that they have that mental health issue, they can be violent sometimes. I mean, it happens. So I just always wondered if that was part of what, maybe Mickey had said something to him before lunch when they were in there about it, and then maybe during lunch, that's when you ask him, "Do you want to talk about it in private?"
Yeah.
And
so that started before the threat up the hill. So there was something brewing there in the first place.
Right. And see, that's where I've always said that the puzzle nobody can get is because we live in a small community. And I'll tell you right now,
Everyone knows everybody.
whoever that delivery went to would have one way somehow would have said something. It would have, a neighbor would have said, "Oh, I seen them that day." Or that person themselves,
I heard him fucking yelling and screaming and hollering and
Right. But you've not had anybody say anything about it. Was there any witnesses to the delivery besides Mickey and Clark? Or was there even, a delivery? There's usually, like I said, small town gossip. It's a neighbor, somebody would have said something, somebody would have seen something and said something by now. But, it's like nobody knows who that delivery was,
No. I don't know where I read it, but it was explained to me that it was a regular customer's name, but it was a different address.
Yeah. Which right there, if somebody's in psychosis, would have automatically tripped a paranoia switch. And at that point, it would have seemed like they were all against him, you know.
But then
Like,
he would have been in that same condition when he marched into the chambers. He would have been in that psychotic state. Yeah.
yeah.
And he wasn't.
No, not at all.
There's no way.
Because
No.
when he first sat down, if you
Yeah,
kind of,
it's calm.
I'm not a body language expert by no means, but he sat down and he leaned back in the chair
Yeah.
and he crossed his leg and he leaned
Yeah.
back.
Arms behind his head.
And anybody that is angry or defensive is going to sit balled up, ready to, you know, fight.
And
I would.
Kevin's body language too was very relaxed, right up until all the way through.
Right. And I even
There
think
wasn't a
when
raised
Mickey
voice.
pulled the gun, you could even see the look on his face, like, what the hell are you doing? You know, like really, like, what are you doing?
Yep.
And that, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But that's just my theory. That's what I thought. But, you know, and that's not saying anything bad about his family either. If I have been around somebody that has psychosis like that, and it's scary. It's
but you can't turn it off. Like once they're in that, they got to work through it.
Yeah.
You can't just switch it on and off. So
turn it
you
on
imagine
and
that scenario and what Mickey's state would have been as he walked into those chambers.
Right. He would have been that way all day. So yeah. Like I said, he opened, like he just leaned back with his arms up and everything, just like there wasn't a problem, or it didn't seem like there was. That's what just totally threw me off with it. So I don't know. And then his behavior after too was wonky.
Yeah, and you can see the trigger points where his demeanor changes.
Yeah.
I think the behavior panel actually did a bit of an analysis. I have to look that up, but I think they did at some point. They're really good.
Yeah, they are. I love it. I love them.
Yeah. All right. So Sherry Steins, their aunt, told Detective Trotter that Mickey was concerned that someone was on the back street near where he lived watching his house, and she stated that he didn't act like himself. That's spelt that way, HISSELF. The interview talking with Sherry Stein stated that he'd known Mickey and attended high school with him. Yeah, okay, well, that was established because they did boxing and shit. Sherry told Trotter that Sheriff wanted his aunt to check on his family because he observed someone walking on the street, and she stated he seemed really freaked out and he couldn't sleep. In a follow-up call with Trotter, Sherry Steins called and informed Trotter that Mickey had called her on the day of the shooting and asked about where his grandmother named Bones was that day, and Bones had been dead for 3 years at the time of the call.
Yeah.
I remember that now. The body camera video from multiple officers on scene very clearly shows Mr. Steins' paranoid and erratic behaviour. There are multiple other witnesses who state similar observations. Blah, blah. Detective Stamper had no clear basis for his saying that he was in his sane mind. Commonwealth is not required to put on exculpatory evidence nor evidence demonstrating lack of criminal responsibility. However, the Commonwealth is not permitted to mislead. Yep. So that was how they got that out of the grand jury. What else was there? ASP agrees. Mickey Stein's not in his sane mind. There's the next bit. Next topic. There we go. B. The statement by Detective Stamper that the Benfield civil case was not related in any way is false and intentionally misleading, was prejudicial. So he said that this was not involved in Benfield's civil case. During the proceedings, a grand juror asked about whether Judge Kevin Mullins had any relation to that case in any way, and the prosecutor interjected and asked, "To your knowledge, was Judge Mullins involved?" To which Detective Stamper said, "To my knowledge, no involvement."
I think someone brought that up too.
Uh-huh.
I think
I
so.
don't recall.
Yep.
First and most obviously, the KSP investigation made it clear that the events were subject to the civil suit occurred in Judge Mullins' chambers. Secondly, interviewed attorney and Mullins' close friend Daniel Dotson. KSP interviewed with Daniel Dotson revealed that Kevin Mullins had questioned Dotson about his legal involvement in the Fields case and why he had been to Prestonbury. That's the deposition, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
In the same interview, Dotson ponders if Mullins was supplying information in the civil suit and suggests that KSP talk to Ned's Pillersdorf to determine if Mullins was supplying information because Mullins thought Mickey was trying to get him. The fuck?
Get him for what? Get him for what, Jody? I mean,
See,
you know.
Dotson's just he's just making shit up now to make the dots stick together, yeah?
Yeah.
He's connecting dots. He's laying the foundation for fucking whatever he needs to use for his story later. Dotson ponders if Mullins was supplying information in the civil suit. So he's calling Mullins out as a snitch.
Yeah.
Thought Mickey was trying to get him. And in any of those statements of the witnesses that leading up to that, did any of them say that he had said Mickey's out, Mickey's got something against the judge?
No. No.
Dotson goes on to know that Mickey's in oh, that's right. Now, I actually need to clarify this because this was brought into question the other day when we were going through the paperwork, and I had said that the other attorney there was appointed to him from what I thought was the sheriff's department, but in fact it was his insurance company. So I apologise. Not that it really makes a big difference because, you know, he sat there and said probably 5 words in that deposition and has never been heard of since. So it's not like a huge bearing on the case, but, you know, yes, I got it wrong. It was someone else that paid him. Okay. Dotson goes on to note that Mickey's blah blah blah. KSP asked specifically if they have it, the video in this case, and clarifies the civil case. And Dotson says yes. The KSP asks specifically if they have it and clarifies the civil case. And Dotson says yes. Oh, Shaw told him one of the girls had a video of Kevin with someone bent over a desk. That's right. Was that Lexi?
It said yes.
Yes. Okay. So KSP asks if they have that video. And Dotson said yes. So Dotson's got Lexi's video with the judge. He's just admitted to it.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. If you go back and you read and you really pay attention to what they're saying, they're admitting without admitting.
Yeah.
You know. And
when
so
did Lexi take that to Mickey? How long before this?
Oh gosh, that I don't know. I'm not accurate with the dates on.
Wasn't years though? Was it the same year maybe, or?
Huh?
It wasn't like years difference, was it?
Oh no. Well, she passed in 22, so it would have been maybe earlier that year. Maybe she had told everybody she was just fed up.
So it was 2 years prior,
and she was going to report. You know.
Do you know how long it was between when she presented that video to Mickey to when she actually passed?
It wasn't a long time.
No, okay.
Not a long time at all.
Mm.
She passed right around that flood. And like I said, there was so much chaos going on with the flood and everything at that time. Everything was just a mess. So it's hard to find any records or much of anything about, what happened with her.
It's hard to get the truth out of anything. Like
It really is.
Like, how I did the story about Trina Sandlin.
Yeah.
I actually had 3 of her family members reach out to me the next day. And one of her daughter actually called me because she wanted to set the record straight type of thing. And I have been waiting for her to contact me again, but it is nothing like what was presented at all. Nothing. Like, fuck. There wasn't
crazy.
Yeah. And the person that she's accused, like she believes was responsible, is nowhere his name never even came up in any of the research I did. Never heard of it before. And his alibi is actually provided by the lead investigator.
Yep.
Yeah. And the person that they have alleged is responsible is the person that found her, her boyfriend. But that she also said that there was a young boy, but he was in his early 20s, that actually witnessed them, or 2 people taking Trina. And he ran to like a neighbor's place and basically told her what had happened. Now, I think it was 3 or 4 days later, there was an incident at his house, where the police turned up and apparently he brandished a weapon at them and they had to shoot him.
Sure did. He was, I reckon, shot in the back.
Really?
They said that there was no weapon, or that he didn't actually have a weapon. And he was shot. They got him. They got him in the face. I mean, it was bad. It was a sad situation, but yeah, it happened. It was strange.
Do you know who the police were? It wasn't Brandon. Can't think of his name now.
Hunsucker, and I can't remember. There was 2. And
he was basically eliminated up front.
He got scared and ran. Ran. And
the person he ran to, she is now in hiding.
Yep.
But she has a fake Facebook profile and has been in communication. With people. So So I'll if Angela gets back to me, I'll be doing I'll get her to present the whole story, but from what she told me is completely, and it wasn't Wade having the shower at that guy's house, it was them washing Trina. Yeah. And the medical examiner, in his report, if you read the words, it says consistent with an animal attack, and he's not lying, because she was, but that wasn't the cause of death.
No.
And it wasn't nice. All right, so KSB asked Dotson if, based upon his experience and knowledge, that Mickey's focus on Kevin was singular related to this whatever imagined civil suit or criminal suit penalties, whatever he had on his mind, and Dotson responded, real civil. Okay. Third, the Commonwealth was represented by the Attorney General during the recorded portion of the grand jury hearing. Commonwealth was represented by the Attorney General for the official part of the grand jury hearing. Right. So the Attorney General stood in for the formalities of the grand jury hearing. The Attorney General, not just the prosecutors.
Right.
The Attorney General.
The one nobody can get a phone call to. the one that's kind of looked the other way. That one?
The Attorney General's investigators recorded an interview with Sabrina in relation to the case. She told the Attorney General that I probably need to speak to her about this too. We might have to get her to elaborate. She'd know more on all this shit.
Yeah.
That she'd witnessed a tape of Mullins having sex with a woman in his chambers. And she stated she knew Mullins and that his face was very clear on the tape. It raises a question as to why the Attorney General prosecutor rephrased the actual question of the grand jury as opposed to not interviewing him in his sane mind. At the base level, she's charged with constructive knowledge of the Fields case and the interview of Adkins that explicitly connected Mullins to the sex chambers. Base level, she's charged with constructive knowledge of the Fields case and the interview of Adkins that explicitly connected Mullins to the sex chambers. That doesn't make sense. They're referring to Sabrina, but in the third person.
But then doesn't that make it, if it's in a legal document that something happened or something was seen and it's documented in a legal document, does that make
it's legal testimony? Yes, it's
right.
Supposed to be under oath, and yeah,
that's what I
but
thought.
don't tell me no one's ever not bullshitted on a fucking on a testimony or like really. Yeah, like saying that I've never farted. It's never going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. The choice to not disclose this evidence when questioned by the grand jury is highly suspicious. All right. Okay, so that's another reason they wanted this to be dismissed. I'm just scrolling through to what's the important bits. Allegations of governmental misconduct in this case make it even more vital that the Commonwealth presents accurate responses to the grand jurors' questions. Nearly half of a 25-minute hearing centred on these issues. The defendant is entitled to a dismissal of the indictment based upon the evidence provided from the Commonwealth's investigation, as briefly stated herein. All right, number C. The defendant renews its motion regarding the unrecorded, unsworn testimony and incorporates its previous motion by reference. Defendant reiterates his position set forth in the motion to dismiss and incorporates the same by reference. You'll simply reiterate the importance of recording the testimony as sought. Yeah, okay. Get on with it. Further, outside of legal advice and the deliberation, information given orally to the grand jury is testimonial, whether sworn or unsworn. That's your question answered there, Randy. And regardless of who is providing that information, it's evident there was a discussion of the case, else there was no basis for the grand jury's request. Finally, the defendant notes again that it's evident from the note, defendant has not been provided an actual subpoena to any entity other than Appalachian Regional Hospital, what information was sought and was not provided. Wherefore, based upon the foregoing, defendant asks that indictment in the action be dismissed with prejudice. Alternatively, defendant asks this court for an evidentiary hearing on the matters presented above. Oh, this has got the questions from the grand jury. We, the Letcher County Grand Jury, hereby request all medical records, including but not limited to mental health records and pharmacy records for Sean Steins on June 19th, 2024 till present. We also request any and all records from Leslie County Detention Centre. What's this? Stein's grand jury. So this is an email. It looks like from Jeremy Bartley. No, to Jeremy Bartley from Ramsey Dallum.
I don't know. Kentucky
It's a
office.
Kentucky governor.
Attorney General.
Be someone.
Office Attorney General. Is that the Attorney General? Is that the Attorney? I don't know.
Kentucky Office of Attorney General. Yes.
Okay.
Jackie and I appeared before the grand jury for the sole purposes of obtaining the grand jury subpoenas for the Appalachian Regional Healthcare records and Leslie County Detention Center records. That appearance is what the comment would have been referencing. All right, so this is from Ramsey Dallum, Deputy Director, Special Prosecutions Division, Kentucky Office of the Attorney General. Okay, so this is from Jeremy Bartley. Oh. Quoted text hidden. Redacted.
Redacted. Yep.
Yeah. Jail triage clinical follow-up risk assessment. Sean Mickey Steins, Leslie County Jail, Leslie County Detention Center.
I think, is that when they disclosed that he had been tased or had to be tased? Or
this is their like screening tool for suicidal issues or behavioral issues. So number 1, continues to express suicidal intent or threats? No. Continues to exhibit suicidal behavior? No. Charge related risk is high, charges increased or sentence, i.e. charges life-threatening, embarrassing, high profile or violent? Yes. Next, court date and expected outcomes. Date known. Yeah. Feels hopeless, helpless and or trapped? Yes. Feels like a burden to and or abandoned by family or friends? Yes. Lack of suicide protection factors. Low external protection factors, not connected to family, friends, significant others. Jail staff are concerned or cultural issues present? Yes. Low internal protective factors? Yes. Still under the influence or withdrawing from substances? No. Well, was he tested?
That's a good question.
Self-care has deteriorated. Not eating or bathing? Blech. Or taking meds? Now, what were the meds? What were the meds?
I think there's. Oh my gosh, there was a list of what they wanted him to take. Can't remember the document, but at that time, wouldn't they have went ahead and just fulfilled what his prescription was? That you know, his primary physician had gave him the day before. You know, kept him on the same.
Yeah, but he refused them.
Oh,
yeah,
that's odd.
Has acute psychosis, mania, or SPMI diagnosis? Not sure what that is. Yes. Has high levels of depression or acute anxious distress? Yes. Is acutely emotionally distressed and in psychological pain? Yes. So this is at Leslie County Correctional. So that's where they took him straight afterwards, yeah? And checked him in.
Yeah.
23rd of September. This is 2 days later. This was the 21st, wasn't it?
I thought it was the 16th or 19th. The 16th was the deposition. The 19th is when it happened.
Okay, well, this is the 23rd, so 4 days later.
Wow. That's odd.
Yeah.
I thought they'd done assessments as soon as you come in.
Yeah. Has acute psycho. Oh, we've done that bit. All right, so let's read the comments. Upon evaluation of Mr. Steins, it appears that he is still in an active state of psychosis. Oh, Was it a Friday that the 19th? Because that maybe the psych doctor wasn't available over the weekend. To
Yeah,
delay
I
it.
think it was a Thursday. It's towards the middle or the end of the week. So
That might be why it was done on the Monday. I don't know. Does the jail operate on skeleton staff over the weekend normally to save money?
I don't know about Leslie County. They're really good jail. I just would think with that being such a high profile incident, they would have done it immediately.
Yeah.
Whether they do it or supposed to do it or what, you would think in a case like this, they would have took every measure immediately, to make sure everything was.
He would have had to have been assessed by a psych to have been prescribed those psych drugs.
That they say he's refusing.
No, he did have those, and they said that
okay.
he responded well, but that was given to him on arrival there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the date of the, let me see. Is it the date of the report or the date of the assessment? All right, so this is a jail triage, and okay, they're being sneaky. This is a follow-up risk assessment. See that?
Yeah. So it would have been like maybe his
Where's
second
the
visit.
initial one? Yeah, where's the initial one?
Yep.
Because he would have had to have been seen to get that script for those drugs.
Definitely.
Had to.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Why haven't they provided the original one? The first one.
See, it didn't come out at first that he had got combative with them. That was something that, came out, kind of stumbled out a little later on. Yeah. So, it probably would kind of be interesting to see what happened in those first, say maybe 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
What was happening with
everything. There's a lot riding on this as well with his insanity plea, because if the insanity plea gets accepted, that takes the death penalty completely off the table. Completely. Yeah. So I understand that their reasoning for that line of defense. And given that there is documented evidence and stuff about, but I wonder, was that planned? Just putting that out there. Upon evaluation of Mr. Steins, it appears that he's still in active state of psychosis. He appears disorientated, is only aware of things that jail staff tell him. He has no recollection of the recent past. He does report that he has some paranoia. Now, see, there's another thing that I brought up the other day, that Californian encephalitis. That is triggered by episodes of stress and anxiety as well, in the cognitive long-term effects. Yeah, definitely triggered by shit like this, and it actually can cause a level of intellectual disability, which
yeah.
add that to 2 weeks of education and training for a sheriff's position. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, you give someone like that like if you look at it black and white, okay, he's got all these medical conditions, these mental health issues. You put him in the top level of your law enforcement, and you give him a weapon. Yeah, the fuck, with a possible intellectual disability.
Well, I mean, even like with like my autoimmune disorder, I can tell, if I'm in, say, I'm having a spell or I'm coming out of one, I can tell a big difference, like cognitively, like my memory's bad, or I stutter and, I struggle, so if it's something like that, you do slip, every time you kind of have something about with it,
Correct. Yeah. that happens with my fibromyalgia. That as soon as I get anxious, like if I can't find something, my brain goes, forget it, fuck off, not working. That's why I'll sit here going, and I can see everything, but I can't absorb it.
Right.
It's like you can visualize it, but it won't go in until that anxiety level goes down. And there's no point me even looking because it doesn't go further than face value.
Right.
That's why you'll see me sitting here going, why can't I find it? Fuck. And it'll be right in front of me.
Yeah.
But the second I get anxious, forget it.
Yeah.
It's called anxiety amnesia, apparently. It is a thing. I just became aware of it recently.
I'm an oddball, but when I get highly stressed, I want to sleep. I want to
Yep.
sleep, and I think but I can sleep for
Adrenaline
14 hours and wake up exhausted. You know, so
Yep. I could sleep for 23.
yeah.
I could. Absolutely. And have done.
Yeah.
Have done. Anyway. Where are we? No, he does not appear to understand his charge and is unaware of his surroundings.
See, that
Understand his charge.
I'm
sure there's something.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you can go back to, when he was still in Letcher County, he wasn't confused because he wanted to go downstairs.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, he was actively, I don't know.
Yeah. He does present to be responding to internal stimuli during the evaluation. Mr. Signs should continue at the high risk level. He has had episodes of combativeness, which has required pepper spray. I reckon that was retaliation right there. It's recommended that he be evaluated again within the next 24 hours. Mr. Steins has recently agreed to take risperidone 1 milligram 2 times a day. This began this morning and will evaluate effectiveness on symptoms when triaged. So where's the follow-up to the follow-up?
Yeah.
That's not there. This is Detective Stamper's grand jury testimony. I just thought the 48 pages was the brief, but no, it's got, well, there's the evidence that what he said. I suppose that's just repetitive from the motion, but because we're only at page 30, so let's what's been redacted there? Hey, so that's page 32, and then we go 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Oh, I must have scrolled higher. 38, 39, 40, 41, 2. No, this was all missing before. You saw it went black, didn't you?
Yeah, I seen it.
Yes. The fuck is going on here?
I seen it go black. I was thinking we could go before and after and try to figure out what was in the middle, but it's there.
Yeah, there was a little writing in the background though. It said something behind this. Like, that's bizarre. Fuck. Really bizarre. Okay, let's go back. Is this just Stamper's testimony? Must be.
I think he wasn't he the only person that spoke at that first court date, or the only one that was questioned, or
for the grand jury, I think.
Yeah.
This explains who was interviewed after the Christ, I didn't think it was that long. There it is. So yeah, this is Detective Stamper. How long have you been employed? 24 and a half years. Okay. Thursday, September 19th, around 3 o'clock. My Sergeant Joel Abner notified me I was in Hazard at the time, told me to head towards Letcher County Courthouse. It had been reported that Judge Mullins had been shot in the courthouse. So me, along with numerous other detectives, headed this way. Whilst en route to the courthouse from Hazard, I learned that apparently Judge Mullins was deceased because they'd asked a coroner to come to the scene. Also learned that there was one male subject in custody that I would love to get that CCTV footage.
Which
From when after the security guard, and then from then on, with the coroner in there and the crime scene investigation, and then
right.
removing the dead body,
Yeah.
One male subject in custody. By the time I wrote, so really, the dispatch wouldn't have disclosed who was the person in custody to the tech. Like, really?
Okay.
By the time I arrived at the courthouse, numerous other people had arrived. Same time I did. It was then that I realized the person was actually in custody was Mickey Steins. Right. He was seated in the hallway just inside the front doors. At the time, myself and other detectives we were divided up tasks to do, which included conducting interviews, collecting evidence, blah, blah, blah. I personally, the first thing I done, me and a few other detectives tried to talk to Sheriff Steins to see if he's going to give us a statement or whatever about what happened. He refused to do so. I conducted a few more interviews, and then I was made aware of some surveillance footage that was in the courthouse, and there was actually a camera that was in Judge Mullins' chambers. So I was able to view this footage. Footage shows Sheriff Steins come in, and he comes into the judge's office. And Detective Stan, before we get into the details of that footage, okay, I know you said that you and some other officers were all en route to the courthouse. Yes. Were you the first officer on the scene? No, I was not. Are you aware who was other than you mean KSP or generally? Law enforcement generally. Well, there was Officer Hunsucker. So he's KSP, is he? Or Sheriff's Department? You're muted, Brandy. Brandy?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. I was just talking away. Hunsucker is, I thought city, but he might work for the county because there's a city police department, a county police department, and then you got KSP.
It's all right. I read two words later. It says with Whitesburg PD.
Okay. Now what I was rambling about was he is the one that was involved in the shooting of the young feller we was talking about earlier.
Ah. Oh.
So.
The pussy at my feet. I just brushed something under my feet and I'm like, oh, there's a cat under there. Several Letcher County deputy sheriffs who were at the sheriff's office who responded just by simply walking over from their office at the court. Walking over.
Yeah, it's walk distance.
Yeah, but wouldn't they run? Active shooting.
You would think.
All right. So Hunsucker Clemens reported that they had, and there's also a deputy Borman, Alan Borman.
Yep, there you go.
Well, that's spelt wrong. I was told it was Bormus.
No,
Well, there's no wonder I couldn't find anything on him. Let me write that down. Okay.
Well, that kind of ties something for me because I didn't know he was at the scene.
Wow.
You know, we had talked about what we had.
Well, what? He was at the scene, and Mickey's asking about him.
Yeah, about hey, he's was apologizing for embarrassing, what he had done to embarrass him or something. I can't remember exactly, but I remember I showed it to you.
So, there's also a Deputy Borman who I personally interviewed him. He's one of the ones that walked from the sheriff's office to the courthouse. He said he passed Mickey Steins walking on the street away from the courthouse, and the sheriff had just like a blank look on his face, and Borman tried to get information about what was going on. And he said the sheriff, so he's spoken to Mickey after the shooting.
Yep.
And then Mickey's asking about him?
Yep.
That ain't a coincidence. No. Sorry.
I told there was
That ain't a coincidence.
parts. Yeah. Because remember he kept talking about how he embarrassed them, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was actually there that day.
No.
So that kind of puts a whole lean on it a little bit there.
Yeah.
It's odd.
So he approached him whilst Mickey was walking away, trying to get information on what was going on. And he said the sheriff didn't say anything, so he continued into the courthouse. Officer Hunsaker and Clemens both stated they'd just entered the courthouse, just inside the front door, basically formulating a plan to locate a shooter. And at that point, Sheriff Steins, you've seen that video where he walks in behind them and puts his gun on the table.
Yep.
And he walked in right behind them and basically to words to the effect, "There's nobody else, it was me." He takes his pistol out and he lays it on a table that's just right at the doorway, just inside the courthouse. He made a statement like, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and kid," or something like that, to one of the officers. So they take him in custody. At that time, he's handcuffed. So he must have thought that threat to his wife and daughter came from the judge. Otherwise, why would you target him?
See, that's why, Jody, I thought there might have been a domestic factor to it, some kind of domestic issue.
No. These are two mates that have known each other for how long?
Long time. At least 30, 20 years.
Exactly.
20, 25 years.
And they were mates, weren't they?
Yeah, they were friends.
Did they socialize together?
Yeah, they eat lunch together,
So, they'd never gone out together with their wives, or?
That I don't know. I don't know if they were that good of friends, but I mean, you got to think they was, before Kevin was judge, he was, an attorney, and Mickey was a bailiff, and then,
Yep.
So, and I think he was Kevin's bailiff for a while before he became sheriff. So they had to have a pretty close relationship, I would think.
100%. He definitely was Kevin's bailiff. That does not make sense. I don't know how he would pinpoint just the judge.
I don't know. That was the one thing. But like I said, you start with it. The body language was off. Everything. I don't know. Nothing makes any sense.
It makes more. It convinces me more that this mate has turned on a mate, and why he didn't retaliate to the people that actually threatened him on the mountain when he's got a gun on him, but he waits until he gets back to the courthouse
and then
shoot.
And is it over the topic they were going to discuss in private, or is it something else? You know? Did Kevin already know what he was upset about?
That wasn't in that brief. I thought it was in that brief. It must have been another one. But at the lunch that they were there, Michael Clark made some comment about Mickey's gun, saying like, "Oh, that's a big gun you've got in your pocket," or something like that.
Yeah.
And something about filing the numbers off it.
Yes, it looked like the numbers. Looks like the numbers have been filed off of it.
But as the person that was telling this, where I read it, they said, if his gun was in his holster at his hip, how would Michael be able to see the numbers.
Because he had that T-shirt on, if you remember, and it was over because he even had to pull his T-shirt up and show
Yes.
the gun. So
Yeah. So how could
would
Michael
you have
Clark
seen it?
see that there was any numbers and if they were scratched off or not?
Right.
I'll make that comment. The fuck?
I know it's kind of out there a little bit.
He couldn't have seen that in the holster.
No, not sitting at the table. And Mickey's not a small feller,
No.
and his shirt would have overlapped and you wouldn't have seen it.
No, because as he stood up, he's had to flick that shirt up over the handle of the gun.
Yep.
So that he could access it.
Yep.
All right. So he made a statement like they're trying to kid my wife or kid, blah, blah, blah. At that point, they had identified the shooter. Yes. So then did those officers go to Judge Mullins' chambers? They did. Okay. And what, based upon their interviews, did they discover? They discovered Judge Mullins on the floor of his office with numerous gunshot wounds. Was he still wearing his robe at the time? He was. And was that here in Letcher County Courthouse? Yes. You recovered camera footage. Where was that camera located? Well, throughout the courthouse, we recovered footage, but one particular camera is actually inside the chambers. Were you able to, I believe you were able to view footage from that? Yes, I was. Okay, and did that footage cover, I guess, the entirety of that day? Yes. Is there any sound? No, there's no sound to it. Just video only, no audio. Really?
What
That's
they
bullshit.
say.
There. That is bullshit right there.
Because ain't there another document that says there is or something that says there was?
You've got the audio in the courtroom because you hear the gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's BS right there. You can tell Sheriff Steins entered the courthouse at 2:38 through the front door. There's 4 other people inside the office. He apparently asked these people to leave. He indicated there were 4 other people in the office. Yes. Were those just 4 other individuals who worked in the courthouse? Yes, they were. Really?
Exactly.
They were rehab people.
Uh-huh.
They didn't work at the courthouse. One of them did, but
the one female worked for Goodwill Industries, and
one was his clerk of courts.
And then Michael was the county liaison for ARC.
Mm-hmm.
And the other fella, I'm not real sure about him.
Yeah.
So I don't, but he probably, he had something to do with drug court or rehab or something, or some kind of drug program.
And what did they say Sheriff Stein said when he walked in? Basically, he asked them to leave, that he needed to talk to the judge. Okay, so did those 4 people leave? Yes. They went to the jury room, which is the next room over from the judge's chambers. You actually see them leaving, watching the video, yes. That was at 2:40. He sits in a chair in front of the judge's desk, 2:42, and 2:45. The sheriff gets up and he checks various doors. He checks the door that leads into the jury room at one point. That would be in front of him, which is on camera. And he checks a door that is behind him that would lead to where, like, the court designated work for juveniles is in the courthouse. He checks that door. So that's the one under the camera where he disappears to the back where Angie ran into.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah. That would be.
For juveniles. Okay. That is slightly out of the view of the camera. The sheriff starts looking at his own telephone. You can see him holding his hand. Throws the judge's phone. After that, you can see Stein stand up. He takes his weapon out of his holster, walks over, and he locks the door that goes to the jury room at 2:51. And is that about where the video that was played at the preliminary? Yes. Okay. That snippet that was played, are we going to play that for the grand jury today? Yes. Okay, so they'll obviously watch that. And for the grand jury's knowledge, it's going to show the actual shooting. Yes, it will. Okay, you testified earlier that prior to this part of the clip, you can see Steins lock one of the doors. Yes. Is that the door that you're standing next to with kind of some dry cleaning bag or something hanging on it? Yes, it is. And so this video picking up after he unholsters his weapon and locks the door. We're now playing the video. Okay. Do you see an individual? What do you see Sheriff Steins do? He fires. He initially fires 2 shots. The judge goes down on the floor. The sheriff walks around, reaches over the desk, fires an additional shot. Then as he's about to walk out of the room, he reaches under the desk and fires 6 more shots. 6?
Uh-oh. Jody, you keep popping in and out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, sorry. What, my audio?
Yeah, audio and the picture, it would pull up the back screen,
Oh,
and then it would kind of black out, and then it would just show my box at the bottom. So
sorry.
it's okay. It just
I don't know what's
it's a
going on
little
there. You can't tell me that when Mickey walks around to the desk on his way out and he bends forward, that 6 shots were fired?
Is that right? I thought there was 4 at the door because he was going out the door.
If he would have had to have rapid fired that shit, like bang, 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 bang. Because it was a 2-second thing that, I'm going to have to look at that video. Where is it? Nah. There's not enough time for 6 shots. Surely to Christ.
So that would put 6 there and 3 at the door. You know, like when he went around to the side again.
6 at the door. Hang on, let me go back. 2 shots initially. So when Kevin falls against the window side of the desk, there's 2 shots there. And then when he flips over and Mickey leans over the desk, yeah, there's an additional shot there. And then 6 more after that. 6.
Good gosh.
Nah. Hang on, let me find this video.
And that's that's rage. That's overkill.
You think?
I mean, that's some yeah.
And not one bit of blood from 6 bullets?
Well, I think it was 9 altogether, wasn't it?
But what, those 6 in one direction? Nothing on the back wall. Nothing.
No.
Hang on, I'm just finding it. Hopefully I've saved it in here. What's that one? Nope. Nope. Yeah, you son of a. Let me look. Be in this one then. Hold, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Full version. Sheriff Steins MP4. Ooh, is that it? Let me read. The fuck? Why is it?
What is it?
No, it's opened it up in a different thing. Oh, is that Miss Tyre?
It is. I'm feeding the cat.
Hello, lovely.
Good morning.
Hello,
Good
Governor.
afternoon, whatever time of day it is. Have a good
Hey,
one.
buddy.
Ah, how is everybody?
Ah, yeah. I'm here. Hang on, I'm gonna open this up because I've got to.
The heck was
I've
that?
got to be in my bonnet, and I have to see this because they're saying that Mickey had time when he got to the door as he's walking out shooting Mullins, like, as he's leaving the courthouse, when he he gets to the door and leans under sort of the chair to shoot behind the desk again, that he had time to fire 6 shots. 6. Okay, I've got it now. I'll just share it. Oops. Share screen. Window. There. Share. Add to stage. Okay. Let me make it bigger. How do I do that on here? Oop. Here we go.
The trial shows former Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins point his
Okay.
gun directly at District Judge Kevin
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Mullins. Mullins
Right. So that was 1 shot there. So 2 from the other side. Is it? No. Hang on. What did she say?
They said two at the beginning, and then 1 over the desk, and 6 at the door.
Okay. So let me go back in there because that was 2.
County Sheriff Sean
So,
Mickey Steins point his gun
2 from
directly
here.
at District Judge Kevin
1,
Mullins.
2. Okay. 2 from that height.
Right.
Look at that. That's going to directly hit the window
Exactly.
sill.
There should be spatter on that window,
Correct.
sill, the blinds.
Yes.
It would have
Yeah,
went
that
through.
should splatter
That-
in front of him at the
Now,
very
what's his
least.
wrist? You must get a small amount of recoil, surely, from discharging a weapon at your wrists, yeah?
Yeah.
Do we see anything on his wrists?
Mickey Steins point his gun directly at District
Oh, they
Judge
freezed
Kevin
it.
Mullins.
Okay, so there's 2 shots, right? Now, when he goes around this side, 1 shot.
Is seen on the ground with his hands up and turned away from Steins.
Yeah,
before the
not a bit of
shot was
blood on him.
fired.
1
Steins
shot
is
there.
charged with
Bang.
murder in
You'd
the
think he'd be
Okay.
rubbing it all over the walls the way he's
Yeah.
rubbing up against that wall and stuff.
Yep.
If he was shot, wouldn't there be smearing it as he moved up and down that wall?
And now 6 shots from this position, from around the other side of the desk. I want to count how many seconds.
Mullins. The next step in the trial is for a grand jury
Ready?
to consider
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really? 6. 6.
That wasn't sick. I don't
You
think.
think? Is it just me?
I don't think it's just you. No.
6 shots.
I'm not buying it.
No.
I'm not buying it.
Detective Stamper saying it
I think they was trying to fake his death and get him out of trouble or get him out
Oh,
of
yeah.
there before the fucking shit hit the fan.
Yep.
And they weren't anticipating it to go on worldwide news and for everybody to fucking latch on to what was going on.
Mhm.
That's what I think happened.
And why would you need 9 bullets? If he's a sheriff, he should know how to brandish a weapon and
And another
I
thing,
think-
what didn't one of the people that had ate lunch with them at Streetside that day say that his gun had the serial number scratched off? That's
was
not
Michael
normal
Clark.
practice for a sheriff.
that was Michael Clark. But he had the gun in the holster and he had his t-shirt over the top. How the fuck would Michael Clark?
So
Because
did Michael had the gun that had
No.
the number scratched off?
No, Michael is the one that said that he
commented.
seen.
No, that was a woman that said
No.
that in one of her depositions, wasn't it?
It was Christine Bowling saying
Yeah.
that Michael Clark.
Oh,
said
okay.
that.
She was saying that he said that.
Yeah.
That's weird too.
He wouldn't have seen the numbers, the serial numbers to the gun. If it was in
Now
his
think
holster.
about it. Because he had to lift his t-shirt over it
Yep.
to even get it earlier. So his shirt would have been over it. Plus he's heavy. Sitting down, how would he have seen it?
Because he made some smart ass comment to Mickey about, that's a big gun you got there, Sheriff, or some shit.
Yeah, I remember that too.
And I put that down to him making note that, it wasn't a normal thing for Mickey to have his weapon on him.
Or picking on him too.
Yeah.
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 That's a big gun.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, if you go through their jokes and their little text messages and stuff, that kind of humor is used often.
Yeah. There's nothing that sits right with me at all with any of it.
So who
Nothing.
supposedly cleaned it up? Who supposedly cleaned the courthouse
Yeah.
after it happened? Wasn't the fucking forensic cleaners? Wouldn't they have to have forensic cleaners if it was that gory and that much blood, like they claimed there was?
Was the courthouse shut down for any length of time, like to do an
A day or
investigation?
two. Wasn't it? It wasn't long.
Wasn't long. I'm wondering, like, did they call a company to come in and clean it? I'm sure they didn't make the fucking courthouse housekeeping come in and clean its blood and brains up.
Yeah.
Well, you
so
wouldn't
we-
think so,
Who cleaned it? Who cleaned all that?
evidence.
Who cleaned up all the blood?
Yeah.
I
We were
mean, a lot
talking,
of that was evidence.
we were saying before, Tyre, that you know how when we watched that video and you were saying though she runs into the chambers in the right hand and you never actually see her come out the other side?
Yeah.
All right. She's standing in the courtroom and you hear gunshots and she runs towards them, not away. Why would you do that?
Don't know.
Why would
Not
you
like
run
she's
towards
got
them?
any kind of special forces training or anything any more than the rest of them. So I
She's
don't
a
know.
woman. She's a
I
woman.
don't
What's she
know.
going to do against a gun?
Right.
Why would you run towards the shots? You'd run away normally, shouldn't you?
Should.
You would think.
Yeah. And the other thing I said to Brandy is like he's claiming that he got lured up into the bush and is a threat made to his life.
Mhm.
Well, he's a fucking
Threat to
sheriff.
his
He's got a gun. Why didn't he arrest them and bring him in?
That's why he was saying they were after his family. He didn't say there was a threat to his life. He said there was a threat to his family, to his wife and daughter.
He was saying that when he went out to deliver that meal, he was lured out to the bush and a threat was made to him.
Yeah.
So why didn't he
was
arrest him?
vastly outnumbered. I mean, you know,
Well, they let him go.
you're the only one up there on a mountain with a couple of strangers,
Well, that's
And
the
Michael
thing.
Clark.
Michael Clark was with him, and then
right?
the thing is, I told Jody we live in such a small community. If they would have met a family or met with the meal, somebody would have come forward and said, "Hey, I seen them at my neighbor's at such and such time," or you know what I mean. We would have known who the delivery was even to, but
Right.
nobody even come forward and said,
Like they don't even have that written down somewhere.
And-
like who they take their deliveries to.
Yeah. And so he gets threatened up in the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't take it out on them. He takes it out on the judge. How does he connect the two?
"Right,
Right. How to get back to Kevin?
something had to be said or done."
Something was said or done that made him
Or
reevaluate in some way, or it was
Or
a
it was
plan from the
bullshit.
start that they were
Correct.
working together to do it together,
it was bullshit, yeah.
and it's all bullshit. Yeah.
Because I mean, you look at all the early retirements that was taken around the time this happened, and
Yep. How many people's not running for reelection?
Mhm.
you know, you've got certain just things that fell into place for
And like I keep getting stuck and hung up on the sheriff thing. How is it that they had another sheriff already chosen and picked out?
Well,
do you
because
mean? What do you mean? And
that's
but
how
Nikki didn't resign until he was already in Leslie County Jail. But
Yeah,
you
no, no.
already had a fucking sheriff to take his place before this shooting even happened. What do you
But
mean?
Yeah,
didn't we looked into it, didn't we, Ty? And it was what, 2 weeks that he remained our sheriff?
Weeks. Yeah. So how is it that they picked a new sheriff, Billy Jones, before the shooting ever happened?
because that's
For
the
what?
next person in line. Yeah.
No.
Well, the sheriff is
The
an
next person
elected
in line,
position.
that's an elected official. That ain't how that works.
They should have had a special election and let the community
That's right. Yeah.
vote.
But decide for what?
Who would be our next?
Why
or
was
who
we having a new one or getting a next sheriff?
Because he
Why
shot
did
the
the government come in with a fucking replacement sheriff before this ever even happened?
Hmm.
Because the elections are just now starting to come up, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mickey didn't resign until 2 weeks after he killed him, or after he went to
Oh.
jail for it.
And is Billy Jones even running for sheriff this time? I seen a ballot and I didn't even see his name
I
on it.
didn't even see it. What the fuck is going on?
There's
And
fuckery.
Who is
oh,
running
yeah,
for sheriff?
Hodell Gibson, and I think he's a Hammonds. I don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I'll
But not
look.
Billy Jones. That much is
No.
clear.
Yeah, I didn't
Not
see his
him,
name
not
on
the
the
guy
ballot.
that they appointed to hold the position while all this took place.
So
Well-
could he have been appointed as temporary sheriff?
He was, but for why? So Mickey could go and help Kevin fake his death. I mean, what's the purpose here?
But
Behind
when was he,
taking Kevin, or by finding somebody to replace Mickey? Why? Who did that? For what? Like,
when
what
was
was
that
the
done?
reason?
Like,
I can't figure
how
that
long
out.
how long after the shooting?
It was
that?
before the shooting. Before the shooting, they already had the sheriff picked out. Wasn't
I don't
after.
know
It
if
was
they.
before.
I don't know if they had him like maybe his intern. Like, say if a sheriff was something was to happen to him, an accident or something. Was he like a backup in case something like that happened, or that's part of.
I ain't never heard of them having a backup sheriff on the fucking back burner before.
I
Like
haven't
for
either.
anything else.
I always thought that where it's an elected position that you would have probably held a special
And
election.
something, yeah, or if something happened, one of the deputies that's been there with experience would step up to fill the role until the election could take place. That's what
Right.
makes sense.
And
That's
I
not what
think
happened.
he was what, school resource officer before.
Yeah, and then they put that Alan Bromas on school resource officer, didn't they?
I believe that's he is
Yeah,
now.
well, it's
The one
not
that
Alan.
Mickey mentioned.
It's not Alan Bormas. It's Alan Borman.
Borman.
And
I'm just going about that what he said in that whenever
he-
when it
Get
first
this
happened,
one.
when he was like,
get this one, Ty. When Mickey allegedly shot the judge, and when he walked out and then up the side of the courthouse and then back again,
mhm.
he was approached by Alan Borman.
Was
Had a
he?
conversation,
Yes,
yes.
he was.
Was he? I didn't even
Yes,
catch
he
that.
was.
And then he goes inside and mentions him again. For what?
And then Mickey was asking about Alan Borman
To make sure that the cops knew this was just a fucking setup and not like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be taking me to real jail. You're supposed to be taking me downstairs.
But why is he telling Trotter and apologizing for embarrassing him for a case of Alan Bormas specifically?
That we
Yeah.
can't even find on record. I don't know.
Well, no,
we
because
might-
I was searching it with an S, not a double N.
so we might can find out now what case.
Oh, okay.
it was.
With the different, maybe.
Spelling in the pleading in the file is
Yeah.
BORMANN, not Bormas. It's Borman.
Okay.
So I've got to do another search on that name. But it just seems to me that while he was talking to him out the front, and then Mickey's asking about him inside
Yeah.
on
Right.
camera.
Yep,
Right.
that was weird.
I don't get it. So was it just a rumor that the sheriff's daughter?
I mean, maybe he was telling that
dog?
cop like that Alan knows what this is. Go talk to him.
Yeah,
You
but
know
he
what I
then
mean?
he
Like
then
he
became
knows the secret. Go talk to him.
he then went and became the school resource officer straight
Right.
away
Right.
out of that position.
Yep.
Did Lila used to walk the judge's dogs?
I have no idea. Never heard that.
I've heard it somewhere, but I can't remember where.
What is it now?
Lila, did she used to walk Kevin's dogs?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, maybe as a kid or anything, but I mean, she grew up, her dad, sheriff. She grew up just like the other kids that had families that worked at the courthouse. They kind of all.
That's an awful long drive for her to go and walk his dogs, though, where his house was.
Did they live a fair way away?
Up in Jenkins.
Oh,
It's
I
a good
don't.
20, 30-minute drive from Whitesburg.
Well, they lived in McRoberts.
Kevin did.
No.
Well,
Mickey.
McRobert's kind of close to Jenkins too, ain't it? I guess.
Yeah.
That seems like it's on the other side of the planet these days, that far away. I've had an order accidentally sent it to Jenkins to Leah's grandma's house and ain't been able to go get it because it's so far away, it feels like. We ain't got the gas to go that far.
And the other thing
Which
I
I
was
guess it's
questioning,
not if you're used to driving it every day. Don't suppose it'd be really that far, but
all right, based on the review of those records thus far and the phones
Lucas,
thus far, does there appear to be any communication between Judge Mullins' phone and Lila's phone? None whatsoever. Was there a call between the two of those numbers on September 19th, between Lila's number and Judge Mullins' number on the day of the shooting? There was. Okay, and based upon your investigation, were you able to determine the source of that call? Yes, Sheriff Steins used Judge Mullins' phone while he's sitting in the chair in front of the Judge Mullins' desk to call his own daughter. Mickey used the judge's phone to call Lila. And outside of that phone call, have you discovered any other calls between Lila's phone and Judge Mullins' phone? No. Are you familiar with Sean Stein's date of birth? Yes, okay. You're familiar with Sean Stein's social security number. What? Why would you know that? Why would Stamper know Mickey's social security number? That's bizarre. Why would you ask that?
Why was that even important?
why was
Yeah.
that even, a question?
Yeah. That's bizarre.
Never asked me that during an arrest or deposition or anything.
No. Yeah. No evidence at all of any communications on any social media or anything to do with Lila on his phone.
Well, go back a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, but with the comment you made earlier that one of the deputies said they were trying to steal the family.
Yes, there were allegations of, well, Mickey believed that.
Right? Well, whenever he first came out, he was saying they've got my wife and kid. They've got my wife and kid. Was the first news reports. That's what the witnesses said that he was saying
That
when he
I
came
think
out of that room.
news reports, but his statements to those around him were that he thought that they were in danger.
Yeah.
And
So he
that
says,
someone-
what was the cause of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go on down.
The other thing I don't understand too is, like, if your husband is having a psychotic episode, you kick him out of the house.
Right.
That sounds. I wouldn't do that to my husband. Like, you're supposed to, it's better or worse, motherfucker. Like,
And I don't see her being that way. I mean, like I said, she's a wonderful person. So I don't know.
Right,
But
like,
I feel
the only way I can see is if he was like actually gotten violent with her or something. You know what I mean? And she
See,
had to lock him out for the night. But
I brought that up too. I kind of thought.
I mean that happens around here a lot. You know, these men, they're big, a lot bigger than you, and their temper, fucking their eyes turn black, and next thing you know, you're put through a wall or something. Sometimes you have to lock them out. You know what I
But your
mean? But
neighbours-
I've never heard anything about him being like an abusive type of person.
your neighbours
But
would have heard that shit. There would have
he
been
seemed more
reports
like a gentle giant from the outside
Yeah.
looking in. You know what I mean?
of it. And the other, I've got a feeling,
Like
know,
if he
they're
was
old.
hulking out, I guess I can understand. But
If Caroline was knowing that, you know, he was having an affair with Christine, and it's one of those, okay, well, if you
maybe
do
that's
it,
why she kicked him out and said, "Get the
if you
fuck
do
out,
it
you
on
can
the
sleep in the
quiet,
car."
that's all right, you know, so
Yeah.
long as it's not in my face. But she takes him to the doctor that day.
Yep. That was what got me. As a wife, I'd have been.
Right,
Yeah.
so that's not even fitting. Like, yeah,
So if his wife found out that that's
You're
what had
right.
happened, she could have gone, get out.
Yeah,
That's what I would have done.
that's very possible. But like I said, you know, if she didn't get mad about that, I'd have definitely got mad after I'd seen the video after the shooting.
Yep.
I'd have been livid.
You know, it's one thing to, you know, Because if he's doing that, like, she would consider that rubbing her nose in it if he's seen out in public, compared to just behind closed doors,
Yep. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that would be almost flaunting it to her.
Yeah.
You went to a public doctor. You went to our family doctor with her.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, that doesn't make sense, the whole psychosis thing. That makes her a cold-hearted bitch. Like, fuck off, you're crazy, get out. Like,
yeah. And
it's not lovely.
No.
And he listened to it?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem like it was too heated to me.
No.
I mean, because if she would have felt endangered, she probably would have called somebody from the office or other officers and said, hey, can you come up here and kind of wrangle him up and get it, They wouldn't have made it public, I don't think.
That's what I would have thought. I would have thought that, like, she would have called one of his cop buddies to come help, calm him down or something, or get him some help.
Right,
Yeah.
because
That would be the logical step for being a sheriff's wife and your
You wouldn't want
sheriff's
that
husband going through something, I would think.
Correct.
because you're
You
going
don't want that out in the public.
exactly, you're going to want to keep that as quiet as possible, so you're
yeah.
going to keep it internal. You're going to use one of his buddies that he
Her own
works with.
resources, or somebody that knows him well enough that she had confidence that could handle it. That's what I
And
would
that
be
would
thinking
have
about.
come out. That would have come out in these,
You would think so, yeah.
because Trotter's known him for years.
Yeah. But it didn't.
No, it didn't.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's him.
questionable. There was also reports in the beginning that him and Michael Clark had went to the high school, and I guess to check on her. But that back during that time, there was a whole lot being said that wasn't true about that, about her. So,
So who knows? Yeah.
who knows if he did go up there and check on her, because it was told that she refused to see him or something, and it upset him. But like I said, there was so many rumors going on in the beginning. It was hard to kind of know what was true and what kind of weed through it.
Yeah, this is the statement where so after the shooting, apparently Mickey walked up the street like he was walking to the sheriff's office. Now where people were right on top of the courthouse where this happened, there's already, by the time he makes it outside the courthouse, there's already law enforcement response to the shooting. So he walks past these officers that are responding to the shooting, and that's when I spoke with one of those myself. They've all been interviewed, but that's when Borman said that they see Mickey walking away from the courthouse and they're like, hey, what's up, where's the shooter at? And he don't say nothing, he just keeps on walking. But you can also see, and like I said, it's from a distance. At some point Sheriff Steins turns around and he walks back towards the courthouse. He walks back in the front door, and you can see on the cameras at that point, if you switch from the outside view to the inside view, you can see Mickey come in and surrender to law enforcement. So the only person he speaks to is Alan Borman, and Michael Clark's yelling at him from behind a vehicle.
Yeah, well, he acted like he was going to walk up to him.
Yeah.
And then there was this strange moment of pause between both of them. And then you can tell maybe their eyes might have met or something. I don't know. But there was that weird pause, and then you see him backing up from him.
And the other thing that Brandy said too, he's gone to the doctor the day before and he's been reported as being in active psychosis. Why did they not take his weapon off him?
They should have done it right then. I mean, no questions asked. I mean, it's almost like a kind of in those mandated reporter kind of ways.
Maybe that's why he had a gun with no number on it. Maybe they did take it. You'd think they put that in the reports that they took it, or that would be public knowledge. Seems important.
If they would have took it, he wouldn't have even been there for lunch. They would have told him to take some time off from work. we're going to put you on administrative leave till you get your stuff lined out.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless he just showed up. You in psychosis, you gonna do whatever the fuck, you know? Like, just because
Yeah,
they
but that
say
was,
don't come to work, don't mean I ain't coming to work. If
yeah,
I
but
got a
that was the
bone to
day
pick
before.
in psychosis, you know what I mean? Like, you're just gonna go with it.
That's the day before, though.
But wouldn't
That's
they have reported that? Would they not have said, like, look, we clocked this yesterday, we put him
yeah.
on restriction, took his gun, but
Does the doctor not have a
so
duty of care to tell someone?
Right, but they didn't. You know?
Do you want your sheriff in active psychosis brandishing a weapon?
I don't want him behind the wheel of a car because in
Yeah.
psychosis, you don't know what's going on.
kind of like negligence on everybody's part there. If
Fucking
that
hell.
was really the case, if he was really in psychosis and they turned him loose
Yeah.
like it
Yeah,
back to the job, then that's
it's they put it
my
in the
ass would have
medical
been in grippy socks. I'd have had a 72-hour hold so fast my fucking head would have been spinning. So,
big
like,
grippy
tell
socks
me they
and a
can't
Thor
fucking
finger.
do something and sit your ass down when they want to. You know what I mean? So if they were saying, yeah, he's in active psychosis, then why didn't they sit him down for a day or two?
Yeah.
Why didn't
Yep.
they send him to Hazard?
You know,
Like they would any of the
off
rest
work.
of us.
Take a week
You
off
know?
work. You just went through the deposition.
Yeah.
You've been through a hard time. Take a week off. You and your family get out, go away for a while. You know, whatever. Why was that not a suggestion? Why was it? Here's you some pills. Try them tonight
And go back to work.
and go back to work tomorrow. You know, right
Where the
as
safety
soon
of the
as
public is in your hands.
exactly.
Ugh.
So I mean,
Yeah, that's true. Teresia said he couldn't have just showed up. Like we were saying, like if they would have put him on leave and he just showed up, like he wouldn't have been out delivering meals and stuff with the preacher either.
Right. But
Like
that
he was
shows
actually
right
at work,
there.
so
But that shows right there neglect on their part for not doing that, for not demanding, hey, you are in psychosis, you're going to have to take some time off work. You know,
yeah,
that I mean, that's just
yeah,
what should have happened.
right. So, it's a deep one.
Yeah.
It's a deep one. My brain is going round and round with it.
Yeah.
The more,
But like
it's
I think, can you find out how can we look up and see when they appointed Billy Jones? How'd we find that the other day, Brandy? I can't remember how we found it.
I believe we Googled like when he took the office of sheriff.
Okay. And who appointed him? We need to look that up. How he got that job, when it was, because it was a
It was
significant
Terry-
amount of time
It was Judge
prior to
Executive.
the shooting.
They said Judge Executive Terry Adams was the one that placed him or swore him in, or so that would have been our county executive. Yeah, was the one that I think swore him in. So, but I'm not sure. You know, like I said, I don't know if he was like a stand-in or if there's some.
And a stand-in for what? If it was 2 weeks before any of this happened, that was long before Mickey ever went to the doctor for psychosis, before Carolyn kicked him out. This was before all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, but why was he being appointed to put as a stand-in? What was the reason? They don't just go around giving sheriff's offices extra sheriffs.
Well, the thing of it is, I mean, what if he'd have been acting off for more than just that time? You know what I mean? What if there's more to the story behind it? And, you know, maybe they knew he was either one way or another, whether it was him.
He was going to have to be replaced. That's what I'm saying. Like, they already knew that they were replacing it. Why? And then all this? This is crazy.
And then, you know, that's not really protecting our community or anybody else by not reporting and trying to, you know, would we be here if he'd have took a week off? You know, if they'd have took his gun and badge, would we be here right now? So I don't know. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
Billy Jones was elected before Steins, but he did not win the race in 2018, which is where Steins became sheriff. Oh, so he served as sheriff prior to Mickey.
No, it was
No.
it
That's
was
what.
Danny Webb was a sheriff before Mickey, but Billy Jones ran against him in the race, is what that's saying. So when Billy lost the race against Mickey.
Yeah, but it's saying here that Billy Jones was elected earlier and serving as sheriff prior to Mickey Steins being elected in 2018.
That's odd.
We've never
I
had
didn't know that.
another sheriff that I knew of.
Because you had
It was Danny.
Danny Webb and Mr. Engel, Barry. I can't
Barry.
remember.
Yeah, Barry Engel.
Kenny Terry sometimes. Oh shoot. The Sloan. The really nice one.
Eugene.
Eugene, yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of the staff that was there, I think, before Mickey. And as far as who was, but I didn't know Billy Jones had ever served as our
As a
sheriff.
sheriff.
Yeah.
And elected when? In what election? Because if
Let
he
me-
lost that one, how did he serve as sheriff before Mickey got elected? You know what I mean?
Unless
If he lost that
Danny-
election, how was he serving as sheriff?
Unless Danny retired maybe early for something, or
Maybe Danny got in trouble, and that's who they
No.
used to fucking pop in and sit
Because
while they
didn't
investigate the
Mr.
real sheriff.
Didn't
I don't know.
Mr. Engels, didn't Barry Engel run for sheriff though too? At one
All
point?
right. The timeline. Danny Webb served as sheriff between 2000 and 2010. Billy Jones apparently served roughly 2010 to 2018. And then Mickey 2018 through to 24.
What?
No, that's not accurate.
Can't be.
Can't
I mean,
be.
if it is,
Wait, what now?
we've
Tell
had
me the dates again. What?
Hang on, let me go into my database and I'll have a look
Okay.
at that one.
Because
Danny was there in like 2018 because we had an incident, with the babies and stuff, or with the baby, and he was the sheriff at that time.
and wasn't Danny the sheriff?
He used to be the lieutenant at the state police post in Hazard. He served down there for most of his life, and then he became our sheriff when he retired from the state police. Or I thought he did. It's a Mandela effect.
Yeah,
We
okay.
missed
This
something.
says that he was appointed October of 2024 by Terry Adams to fill the remainder of the term after the previous sheriff resigned. But Mickey did not resign until he was already in jail. He resigned from jail,
Right.
right?
I think they done that.
Yeah, that was in September, though. That was September 2024.
Uh-huh.
And so Billy was appointed in what, October 24? Did you say?
October of 2024, it says, after Mickey resigned. Yeah, that's what this says. But
I think what Ty's saying is he got to resign.
they were saying that he was already there. No, yeah, like something had happened. Mickey was either resigning or gotten fired or something for Billy Jones to have even been presented. And for it to have happened before. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Before
Like
the shooting. Billy was already on scene before the shooting. What was Mickey in trouble for? Why was he resigning?
Have you seen paperwork that though he was resigning, or is that like where did that? I haven't seen or heard any of that.
I mean, but why else would they be putting a replacement sheriff in? He was still acting sheriff. Mickey was.
Not in October, he wasn't.
No, not by then. That's when after he resigned. But I'm talking about previous. Billy Jones, it was, where was that, Brandy, that said that he was already 2 weeks beforehand that Let me find it. I don't know. I don't know where I found it.
Hang
We
on.
tried to look for it and couldn't find it, but I do remember hearing that. You know,
This is coming
And
up now.
yeah, because I've been hung up on this for a long time now, for months now, because I remember hearing it somewhere, but that's I have not pinned it down. And I thought we found it the other day. I thought we actually
This
did,
is nearly finished.
but no, I don't know where.
Reading audit reports and all sorts of shit. It's nearly done.
Hold on. This isn't.
It's coming.
I don't know.
What's KACO? Kentucky KACO.
Court
Kentucky.
no. Hang on, let me size it up so I can look at it.
Kentucky. Come on.
See, no, this timeline fits. Whatever I looked at the other day, the timeline didn't fit. With the when Billy Jones was appointed, it was what I found the other day. I've got to find it again.
All right, here we go. So
It says that he's running again against Codell.
Says here, Danny Webb was sheriff from around 2002 through to 2018. He was referenced as sheriff in the 2003 article. Yeah. Steve Banks was sheriff before
him.
Yeah, hang on. Now it's doing a table. All right. So Steve Banks, 1999 to 2002. Danny Webb, 2003 to 2018. Sean Mickey Steins, January 2019 to October 2024. Billy Jones, October 24 to present. Appointed by Letcher County Judge Executive Terry Adams after Steins' retirement and sworn in on October the 1st.
Yeah, they allowed him to retire so the family could keep benefits.
Retired under pressure in early October. That's Mickey. He would have had to have. That's it. That's all it says. Kentucky Sheriff served 4 years with county elections held in even numbered years. So they're up for election again this year, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know who's running?
The ballot I seen had Codell Gibson and trying to think he was a Hammond, maybe.
Oh, that's right. You said, yeah.
But they only had the 2 on the ballot. Let me see if I can find the actual, because I had a.
Well, here's a fun little tidbit of history. The sheriff back in 1900 was William S. Wright, and he was killed by gunfire from ambush.
Is that the one at the courthouse?
He was killed in 1900. He was one of our first sheriffs.
Ooh.
Leonard Adams Sr. served until 1961. Died in the line of duty by gunfire while attempting to arrest a man for public intoxication. Raymond Tip Worth served until 1970. He was elected, died in the line of duty by heart attack while investigating a Halloween prank involving a dismantled bridge. Danny Webb from 2007 is what this one says to 2018. But it says elected to multiple terms, previously served 30 years with the KSP.
Okay.
And then Sean Steins was the next one. And then Billy Jones after.
Yeah.
Somebody said that, though. I got to find it. It's in something. Surely I didn't dream it. No.
That's like, when I find something on my phone and I'm sitting there looking at it going, did that happen? Can I, can you?
Yeah.
Can I access that again?
Yeah.
Can I please see it
Come on.
again?
Come on,
Like, I know
Brian.
I've seen it. I know I read it. I know I've heard it,
Yeah.
but I can't tell you what realm
Come
I'm in.
shoot for
What
me.
realm
What?
apparently. That frustrated me.
I know.
But yeah, no, because that's what we was talking about the other day. Because it popped up, and I told Brandy, I said, "Wait a minute, did that just say that it was happened? That maybe it was something we was watching."
It was, wasn't it?
It was, but I can't remember. And it was a. Oh, it's going to be on one of my playlists. I'll find it later, Jody, and I'll send it to you. Then you
Yeah,
can look
no
at it and decide which one. What?
Well, that's what
What?
got us looking it up in the
That's
first
what got
place.
me looking it up. Yeah, like in the first place. When was he appointed? Because it said that Billy Jones was already appointed to take the sheriff's position before any of this ever even conspired. And I thought, that's odd,
Like they
you
knew
know?
something was going to happen.
Yeah, like they knew that there was going to be a murder. What?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know. There's so many unanswered questions,
hello.
and it's crazy.
So many.
Sorry, love. I didn't even see you there. Sorry.
I can't get past the no blood thing now myself.
Yeah, I know. It's no. It's just no.
Think that, like, listen, what if they did threaten Mickey's family to get him to go along with their fucking harebrained scheme to make Kevin disappear or something, and told him, well, you'll just go down to the jail and then you'll be out in a couple days
Yep.
on insanity. And then that's why he was so fucking surprised when they were like, no, you're going to Leslie County. And now here we sit in the middle of an actual murder trial and stuff, or waiting
Well,
for a
yeah, I was saying to Brandy,
because now
you've
they have
got
to play it out since it went worldwide.
yeah, you've got a right to a speedy trial as a defendant, and we're coming up to close on the 2-year mark now, and we still haven't got a fucking. Have we decided if the judge is allowed to stay? What's happening? And these rulings back from February 25 that I just went through in the for the request. What was it? A supplemental brief for the motion to dismiss, because there's a lot of misleading testimony from Trotter to the grand jury. Like they never even saw any medical records they'd requested. Like they just refused to provide them. So the grand jury never saw anything. So they're saying that they indicted him on bullshit information.
Right?
So, but that's not ever been ruled upon. Never been
That's what I'm
addressed.
saying. I don't know. It's something else is going on though. I know that much.
Yeah,
That's all I know. I don't know what it is, but by hell, something else is
I
happening.
think it doesn't help that courthouse is not. They have no transparency.
We don't got no trust with them anyway. You know what I mean? Maybe
Right,
if we
so-
started out with a modicum of trust with our justice system, we wouldn't even have to fucking question it. But
It makes it hard to.
Nothing's progressing. Nothing's in motion. Like they haven't even addressed the change of venue. Like it's like it's at a standstill. Why?
Yeah.
Hold up.
Right.
Are they waiting for something? What are they waiting for?
Well, I mean, have they even decided if they're going to leave it in Letcher County, or I mean,
No.
so they've made no decisions.
No. The change of venue motion has not been filed not been addressed, because that was supposed to be what was being addressed when the it came up about the judge having a conflict of interest in December.
Yeah.
That was what that hearing was supposed to address, was the change of venue.
Yeah.
And we've been at a standstill since then, 4 months later.
Yeah. Not very surprising, I guess, for
You'd think that the defense would be pushing, though, for, a speedy trial. Like, that's his rights.
Yep.
No motion.
Remember
discuss-
that standard practice here, though, is to sit in jail for a few years before you ever even see a court date. That happens to everybody, just about.
Pretty much.
A speedy trial is not something that happens here.
but not in a high profile case like Mickey.
Right. That's something. That's what I was going to say. Unless you know somebody, or unless you got family on the outside pulling for you, making phone calls and driving them crazy or something,
I do think
then
for the defense,
they sweep you under the rug. But Mick, this is a big deal. Like
the defense attorneys would be pushing to get shit moving.
Yep.
yeah.
There's nothing.
Like it's not like you don't have people up there, like the courthouse don't have people up their ass making a move.
Yeah, exactly.
So
there has been no motions filed whatsoever in the case because I actually asked yesterday. I looked yesterday. Nothing.
It's crazy.
They're sitting on their hands.
And I mean, me personally, I mean, if I was in Mickey's position, I mean, I'd be,
Yeah.
I'd be bouncing off the walls, trying to say, listen, this is what happened. Listen to me, or something. Trying to speed this up or anything. Which, like I said, I know there's a lot of things that, they do have to keep close to the vest because of the case and, all these things. But they have left things such a gap and such an opening that, it's hard to put anything together to make any sense.
Yeah. I'd love to speak to that PI. What's his name? Cotton, yes.
We've got his email.
Yep.
I reckon he'd be able to tell us some shit. Surely.
Email him.
Did Lee ever get to speak to him? Because we gave him
I don't know.
Lee.
I gave him the contact information, but I don't know if they did or not.
I have no idea either. I don't know.
Well, he's not bound by any confidentiality or anything, is he? Because he's not part of the state investigation. It's private.
I don't know how that works. I'm not sure.
Well, no, if he's not part of, like, he's not been subpoenaed or investigated or part of the prosecution or anything like that, then he's not bound by. It's like you could go and have a look at files and then come out and say, right, this is what I found. But you're not involved in the case, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Or anyone.
Possibly reach out to him.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Y'all want to watch the goats run in? My hair's crazy. It does so cause me a little crazy.
Hello, lovely. Aww.
Yeah, baby.
So it better be. More coming?
I emailed Brett this morning and asked him if he could locate for me that screening tool, the form that Ben had to fill out to see whether or not his personality was suitable for the job in the first place, the CSO job. And that's held with the FBI, I think. And the polygraph. I want to hear that. So, and I know Brett got it because when I said "G'day" in the chat this evening, he's like, "I got your email, and I'm definitely interested in talking to you about this Title IV funding stuff." Because I sent you Nicole's. She made a post on Facebook the other day about Ben Morris, is it? Whoever's running for jailer in Pike County. And she listed through all the stuff that he had his thumb in, and his wife had his thumb in, and the businesses surrounding them, and how they were all intertwined, and one was getting grants for this upgrade to a sports stadium, and of course it was his brother's construction business that got the contract type of thing, and the wife's insurance company that covered this, and do you know what I mean? It was all
Right.
interrelated. She listed
They
it
Right.
all
were,
out, and
they were
it
getting
was,
kickbacks left and right.
Yeah.
and the way that she presented it, it showed perfectly exactly how they insulate themselves and then hold their positions of power. But it was like seeing deja vu. It was like she was writing down what I've been finding, but just switching out the names.
Yep.
And I sent her an email and said, man, that's like the blueprint. That's like their blueprint. It's happening everywhere. It's not just Letcher County.
Yeah.
So
It's sickening. They literally turned it
into a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the hardship of everybody else.
Yeah. Because the people in Pike County are saying, well, you know, there's far more things that we would rather, you know, have in the community than a sports complex. Do you know what I mean? It seems frivolous. But I guarantee you there will be an angle to it. Like there will be a grant behind that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they will be able to apply for. It's got to be tied in there somewhere. Like it's too obvious.
Very much so.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a corrupt. This is a whole corrupt ball of crap. It's it is. It's sad.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and like I said, I like that your eyes as an outsider can look, and so you've got a list of our laws and everything they should go by and abide by, and apply it to what's actually happening. And no,
Never the same shall meet.
Yep.
But even like I've been watching trials and shit for years, and I mean, I haven't got a huge understanding, but I've got a decent understanding of how the system works there. But yeah, there's so many things here that are so odd, like just simple, like the Attorney General being present for the grand jury testimony, like for the official recorded version. Why would the Attorney General come down?
What did he have in it?
Yeah, it's bizarre. That shit doesn't happen.
Definitely bizarre.
All of it's fucking bizarre. Just
That's the truth.
So yeah. Anyway, I sent a suggestion to Nicole and to Brett. I'm like, perhaps if we're all seeing the same things, maybe we should put our heads together and work as a fucking, if we all share our knowledge, then we're a united front.
Yes.
So
and spread the knowledge. Spread the knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
For sure. Well, we shall see what comes of it, my lovelies. All right. Well, what has it been? 3.5 hours? Yeah, that's probably enough time.
Sorry, I was late.
No, good luck. I didn't even post it until this morning. I was just playing around on the computer last night and was reading through shit and went, I forgot about that. I kept whipped it up and then, oh shit, I haven't told the girls. Oh, it's midnight, can't.
I kept waking up this morning from the same dream over and over and over again. Every time I go back to sleep, I would be in the same dream, right back in the same dream. And I kept, every time I'd wake up, I'd be like, ooh, I wonder if I could do that again. And then there I'd be. It was wild.
Was it a good dream?
I did it like 4 times this morning, and I didn't get up until, right before I got on here. So I finally was like, okay, that's enough bouncing around. I guess I need to get my butt up and do something with my life today.
Was it a good dream?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I got mad at us though.
Oh no.
You got to what?
Because of what was happening in the dream world. I was like, just let me go outside and reset myself. Yeah. It was not a good dream. And I kept dreaming it. And I kept dreaming it. And I kept dreaming it. That
Couldn't
was
get
what
out
was
of it.
wild, was that I couldn't. I was coming out of it. I'd wake up and I'd sit there and think about it, or get up and go pee, get up and come get a drink of water or something, speak to Dusto for a little bit, and then go back to bed, and I'd fall right back into the same dream.
Yeah.
Like,
Is
so it
it
wasn't like I
possible-
couldn't like wake up and move. I was waking up and moving around and stuff. And so after about the third time that happened by accident, I was like, I'm gonna see how many times I can do this. And I did
Is
it a
it
couple more
2:30 in the
times. Then that
afternoon?
last time I was just plumb pissed the fuck off. By the time that part of the dream rolled around, I was over it. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this movie. I'm getting up. Ain't coming back into this one. So I got up, and I'm glad I did, because I caught y'all. I'm here. Got to say hello for a minute.
Is
Yeah.
it two
Everybody.
is it 2:30, like 2:30 in the afternoon there?
Yeah.
Yes, it's 2:30 now.
Yeah. I think
Cool.
everybody's been worried about you. So I told them
Yeah.
we kind of all took a little break.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good I know there's been
I'm all
a few
right.
people
I
reach
know I'm
out.
not doing much work like on screen or anything right now, but I had to kind of just turn inward a little and
Yeah, not
yeah,
a problem, sweetheart. We all
tend to
need it.
myself a little while in my home. You know.
All right. Well, I might wind this up, but you guys happy to have a chat after the stream if you want to stay on?
Yeah.
Is that
Okay.
all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I? All right, my lovelies. Well, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Give it the big, the good old g'day thumbs up. Takes 2 seconds. And excuse
So,
me.
show us some love.
I apologize. Oh. All right. So, if you can't be good at it. Be nice to your mum. She loves you. And hasta la vista, bitches. Bye bye.